and welcome back. Last we left off, our intrepid heroes began the long voyage from the raiders' camp north to Elturel, where they were set to meet with contacts of the agent Leosin to rendezvous and decide their next moves as they face the threat of the cult of the dragon along the Sword Coast. During our journey, our party encountered some interesting people, but not before spending a quiet night in the confines of an abandoned farmhouse upon the green fields. Inside, the cracks within the party began to show. Frustrations were raised as Rael finally voices opinions against Serena's proclivity to animal companions. During tense argument, a wayward drake from the raiders' camp was displaced by Rael, and tensions reached a boiling point. During the night, the party separated. And within that night, some interesting conversations were had. Some visibly, some within the confines of dreams. However, the party heading forward in the early dawning eventually found themselves approaching the bank of the Chianthar River overlooking Elturel. But not before meeting with an interesting band of clerics of the god upon the rack, Ilmater. Our party, having realized that perhaps negotiations with these creatures weren't quite going the way they wanted, the organization known as the Weeping Friars passed off some of their most treasured possessions in service of their deity before continuing upon their virtuous path to rid the world of suffering by taking it upon themselves. Which is where we find ourselves now. Our scene opens. You've traveled through the night, and now the dawn spills gold across the rolling fields of the green fields, and Elturel as a whole. The tall grasses now alit with a warm shimmer as you walk the well-trodden path towards the bank of the river Chianthar. Each footstep seems to send up these tiny clouds of dust. The earth is quiet, but not untouched. Leaving behind the low stone fences, half toppled and half repaired in haste, the scorched fields which had begun to grow anew with wheat, some abandoned, some still tended by virtuous farmhands. The party eventually saw Elturel, the holy city rising on a bluff above the river Chianthar, a grey silhouette against the morning sun. A city changed in very recent memory. While still being noble in shape, it is withered. The once blazing companion which hung in the sky is gone, leaving the heavens above hollow and strangely empty. Now light comes only from the natural sun and the faith of those who choose against all odds to remain in their home city. And the closer you walk towards the river Chianthar, you see the winding river, 80 foot wide and at least 30 foot deep. You begin to see farmers clearing stones still from this point. You can see what looks like merchants traveling along the river. You can hear the sound of the river as it flows around. You can hear the tweeting of birds and the gentle trickle of the water. An interesting case in point is, while the river appears to have generally flowed back into Elturel, it appears that Elturel, when it returned, has returned on a slightly higher incline than it previously was, meaning that the flow of the river is somewhat disturbed. The waters in the canals that flow through Elturel is now much more shallow and deeper. In the far distance, you can hear the sounds of the city awakening in the early dawn. And Leosin leads you down towards the bank of the river, where you can see, spread out across the riverbank, numerous small ferries sit. In particular, he leads you to one. You can see a flat-bottomed barge, about 30 foot long and broad enough to carry a wagon or possibly 2 draft animals. You can see a handful of 3 or 4 passengers, sort of like with gear and bags, sort of like making their way onto the boat. You can see that the boat itself is very well worn. It has these sort of like burn marks and gouges. You can see old nails from desperate repair sort of made over the years. You can see that at the stern, there's a tall sort of rudder post, seemingly where the ferryman would guide the vessel with a long pole and the help of the creaking tiller. You can see a set of thick ropes and pulleys sort of running across the water to anchor points on either side of the bank, keeping the ferry from being swept away by the river's swift current. And while the sides bear no paint, only a natural grain of wood, you do see what appears to be a very, very, very old painted name on the ship, reading "The Dawn's Approach." You can see as some of the merchants and general villagers begin to prep their gear and head onto the boat, you can see what looks like a human male, seemingly in his sort of like early 20s, maybe even late teens. You can see sort of like black, greasy hair tied into like a tight ponytail, the hairline partially receding in places. You can see covered in sort of like acne, these sort of like bright brown eyes, wearing very simple sort of like dirtied white shirt. You can see he's got sort of like a clipboard on. You can see he's wearing like this pair of almost boat shoes with no socks on. The shoes look very, very well worn. You can see that he's sort of like writing a few things down, and you see that Leosin walks over and approaches him and goes, "Hello there, Theodore."
What's it doing? It's been ages since we've seen you around here. Just heading up to the city again, are you?
Myself and a few friends, and you see he sort of like beckons back towards you.
Oh, got some companions with you this time, have you? Well,
How many of them are there?
right, 6. All right, yeah. I reckon we could probably fit 6 on, but that'll have to be it for the morning. So, with 5 gold pieces for a lot of you, if that's all right, Leosin.
Not a problem. Reaches into like a pocket, pulls out a small bag of gold, hands it to him.
Pleasure doing business with you. Right, hop on.
You see he sort of like leads you onto this sort of like plank leading up towards the ship. And as you all start to like walk towards him, you see he's sort of like bright-eyed, smiling. You can see the teeth are kind of crooked and yellowed in the mouth. Looks like a little bit hard to do, but like seems harmless enough.
It's all right.
Hello.
Head onto the bed.
Hello.
Oh, look at you. Oh, a little sparkly owl. Don't see many of
thank you.
Fights around here.
Not many elves.
Oh, well, you know, normally it's the average well-to-do humans and, you know, half-elves and dwarves and gnomes and things of that sort of nature. But you're new. You look different.
Well, I suppose I am, but it is nice to get a warm welcome. I appreciate it, of course. May I? I'll just gesture to go onto the boat.
Make yourself comfortable. Shouldn't be a long ride, only about 10 minutes across the river.
I'll nod and step on.
You see he sort of like smiles to all of you as you board the ship.
Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Good morning, good morning.
Morning. Just
I like
nervously
him. He's nice.
step- Me too.
And you see that Leosin sort of goes, he's green, if nothing else. His father operated this ship for many years until the descent. As you can imagine, being a ferry, timing was of the essence when the descent happened, and those who were on the edge suffered quite significantly.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, that must have been rough.
Indeed. But he is, as all people in Elturel are, a strong spirit, let's say.
That's good at least.
Hey, Nebulon, you should play the lute while we're on the ferry.
I've never
Ooh.
actually played the lute, but
I believe
could
in you.
try. Great.
I mean, you
I'll-
barely
I'll-
remember most of the skills you have, and you kind of work it out
Well,
anyways. So
It's funny. I don't remember having them, but I can somehow do them. I'm relearning
yeah,
them. Or
maybe you actually know how to play the lute and you just don't know it yet.
let's give it a try. I'll pull out
Yes.
the lute, the beautiful. I guess I'm kind of imagining like a pink
Matthias
wood.
something.
Yeah, I'll attempt to play a. I don't know any tunes in my head, so I'll just attempt to play what I can.
Wonderwall.
Roll me a performance check with disadvantage, please.
Perfection. Performance. It's an 8 on the dice, and performance is +4 at 12.
Oh.
Oh,
As
okay.
you start to sort of like pluck away at it, it's rough. As you're sort of like listening to this, in the beginning, it's very boom, bing, boom, bing, bing, boom, bing, boom, bing,
Yeah, I've got it.
boom. But eventually, you start to sort of like figure out the way that like notation works, the tuning of the strings, and it's not anything particularly impressive. But you pluck out like a basic melody, sort of like open string on it.
Down, down, down by the water.
Is
in
that
this case.
copyrighted?
Copyright.
That's why I said water.
Shut up.
I could probably figure this out. I just maybe give me
Yeah.
a
It
few
sounds
weeks,
excellent.
a few 10 days, and I'll be fine. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And as you guys all begin to sort of like settle on the simple wooden benches on the edge of the ferry, you see that Theodore sort of like grabs a few more where the pack animals would normally sit as there's none like moving over. So it just pulls a few of the benches over to sort of like sit in the middle of the ferry. He sort of like pulls up the ramp, begins to sort of like tend towards the sort of like rudder and begins to like wheel in the anchor and begins to pull the ship slowly across the river.
As we're approaching Elturel, Quill's gonna disguise self and change into like a middle-aged man, and just kind of say, "It's best not running into anyone who may know me."
That's
Oh.
fair.
Understandable.
I think someone would know you
Interesting.
here.
How
I've
wonderfully
visited Elturel
rustic
before.
this whole thing is. A ferry! Who knew that poor people had methods of transportation across water too? Quite whimsical.
Have you forgotten the conversation already that we've had?
I'm complimenting him!
It'll do.
You there, boy! And you see he shouts over to Theodore. Yeah, sure! You do know that there are places in Neverwinter and Waterdeep where you could get those teeth fixed. A little whitening, bit of straightening, you look a treat. Oh, well, sure, I'm afraid that's far out of my price range. I tend the route from Baldur's Gate over to Elturel. Sometimes I do a couple of stops here and there across the river, but nothing more. Right, okay, you're boring me now. Anyway, so what's the goal when we get to Elturel? Are we going to get on the session a little bit, celebrate our victory, or...
We should
You know,
probably go straight
Renar,
to the-
Yes?
I wanted to say, since you're turning a new leaf and you wanted to help people, why not give that poor boy the money, no? At least that's what you call him. Why not
Well,
help
I
him?
would, but unfortunately, as we've already established, all of my wealth is tied up in the banks of the major city. When we get to Baldur's Gate, I should be able to get some coin out of one of the houses, but at the moment I am, let's say,
Broke.
cash poor, asset rich.
I
So
see.
you're one of us.
No, I'm not one of you. I'm cash poor, asset rich. It's a very common thing for rich people. We don't carry cash with us because we are targets for mercenaries and bandits and hostage situations,
I'm gonna read that.
Didn't help you much, did it?
That
to
is
not carry
correct.
cash.
Unfortunately, the poor boys got nothing, and I play with his signaturing that Quill has given Velka a while ago.
And as you guys start to approach, one thing that you do notice is Theodore, for his age and for his general stature, uncharacteristically ripped. You can see now as he sort of like shrugs off the coat, the shoulders and the arms are like heavily muscular. They're sort of like tanned by the sun. And you can sort of tell that this is like a thing that he's been doing for many, many years at this point, even like in like his spare time. But it shows, and he's got a bit of something about him. And as you guys begin to pull into Elturel, You guys now see, as the ferry glides closer, Elturel rising fully before you at this point. No longer a hell-ravaged ruin, as the rumors and the world feared, but not quite the shining beacon that it once was. Those of you who have been here before would know it once to have stood in much grander standing than it currently does. You can see the docks themselves are sort of scarred but bustling. Old timbers, sort of still blackened by fire, are being reinforced with fresh cut wood. You can see some stone pylons that still have like slight scorch marks on them, but have been attempted to have been cleaned. You can see these sort of like heavy banners that are all sort of like ringing out everywhere. You can see heraldry, what looks like a hand with an eye in the center of it, a right hand clutching a sword, with these heraldries of different religions everywhere. Most of you would recognize them as some of the major populace, Torm and Tyr and Helm, these very sort of like upstanding righteous deities that the Order of the Gauntlet and Elturel itself is famous for sitting in reverence to. You can see workers sort of hauling crates onto flatboats and carts. You can see many bearing the branding of Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter. You can see what appears to be on horseback a set of warriors, town guards. You can see they're clad in this sort of like dull, weather-worn armor. You can see their helmets are off and their eyes look tired but alert. Above the ferry landing, you can see the city of Elturel sort of clinging to the cliffs. The once gleaming upper walls now pitted and stained, yet candles and lanterns glowing from windows and archways. And you can now see, high above you all, the bastion of Elturel itself. The legendary High Hall, this sort of like enormous, almost cathedral-looking structure, these sort of ivory spires that reach out into the heavens themselves, architecture beyond anything some of you have seen before. Gorgeous, like an ancient Gothic sort of like 17th century church. And as you sort of like pull in, you hear the boat thuds against the dock. And you see that Theodore goes, "Oh, thank you all. If anyone needs a lift back, I'll be here for the next 6 hours, loading some cargo onto the ship. We make runs sort of like on the hour, every hour. So, feel free to pop back."
Thank
you see
so
that he
much.
sort of like unwinds the ramp, and the four merchants sort of like begin to make their way off. Leosin sort of like pulls himself to his feet. And you now all look out on the dockward of Elturel itself. You see that as people begin to pass you, these sort of like heavy crates, this sort of like city in flow, Leosin says, "I'm sure that as we've traveled through the night, most of you are quite tired.
Yes.
I think for now, the best thing to do would be to regroup where I know allies are. There's a tavern towards the north of the town, a pair of black antlers. It's a well-known Harper safe house and frequented by people of some renown within the city. Is everyone happy to head straight there? Or is there anything anyone would like to take care of beforehand?"
Let's
I
go,
think it-
right?
I mean,
Priority
need
is
a
getting
rest.
you safe. Agreed.
A rest would be nice.
I'd rather be resting among friends.
What if we are
Incredible.
all friends? I like that.
See.
I'm glad to
And
know.
as- And as Leosin begins to lead you through the dockwoods, I'm going to pull up the map of Elturel.
Secrets.
Ooh.
Not really.
Ooh.
Nice.
There we go.
Incredible. So, Leosin begins to lead you through the winding streets. As you guys pull into one of the docks over here, I'll just show you. You now see the unfolding of Elturel before you. The dock district, this sort of like place of rebirth and exhaustion in equal measure. Stone piers that jut out into the Cheonthar. You can see sort of like fresh timber mixed with this sort of like scratched, cracked, and scorched like wooden cranes and docks and things of that nature. There's definitely a feeling of resurrection in the city. A city rebuilt and rebolstered by the whims of its people. At this point, it has been several months since the return from Avernus, as most of you would know. It's approaching a year. It's actually approaching the anniversary from what you all know of. And the city shows, like, as much as it has this sort of like feeling of a people who are oppressed, who've gone through something very traumatic, there is a spirit of rekindling. There's a spirit of sort of like camaraderie between the people here. People are very busy. They seem to be wearing smiles. There's laughing. There's joking going on in the streets. And as you sort of like move into the more domestic areas of the dock district, you can see that the streets are narrow, but still very, very busy. They're filled with ox-pulled carts and sailors and fishmongers, weary laborers sort of shouting to be heard over the hammering of carpenters repairing warehouses. You can see canvas awnings sort of like in mishmashed colors all over the place, of stalls, whether or not they're for basic supplies or just sort of like set up as little trade hubs for some of the merchants who are coming into Elturel. You can see there's several children sort of like darting between wagons, chasing each other with wooden swords, crudely painted in colors, pretending to be dragon slayers. You can see street preachers sort of standing on wooden boxes, calling out prayers. Give yourself to Torm! Give yourself to the god of vigilance! You can see slightly down the road what looks like a man, sort of like gaunt skin, surrounded by several friars, who are all preaching, Father Ilmater will take your pain, swear yourself to him, and help the healing of Elturel proper. You can hear sort of like musicians with battered lutes singing ballads of survival and of working and things of that nature. And again, every now and again, you see sort of these like very severe figures on horseback passing by, seemingly the only armored figures immediately visible in range. They look tired and scarred, and they're just sort of like keeping a steady patrol through the streets. As you're led into the more domestic areas, the winding streets give way to these very sort of like tight-packed sort of like set of terraced houses, as you were. You pass by a few things of interest. While the dock district seems fairly sparse in terms of trade, except for the large market, which some of you would know sits towards the east side of Elturel, you pass a couple of things. Number one, you see this sort of gnarly old store. You see this sort of like gnarly old store. It sort of sits weirdly between these sort of row of terraced houses. You can see it has these two bay windows jutting out awkwardly into the streets, taking up way too much space. A little signpost sort of like hangs with 3 crossed arrows, just reading Trading Costa underneath. You can see what appears to be a sort of like teenage boy sat outside smoking what looks like a rolled cigarette. Seems unbothered as you pass by him. And eventually you're led towards the north of the city. Again, the thing that captures all your attention is as you break out and see the winding river which passes through Elturel, you can see that this doesn't look like a naturally formed river. It almost looks as if the city was cracked in two. The city has the air of a broken sort of like mass of land. This sort of like river that now winds is unnatural. You can see that it almost seems as though it would fit perfectly back together, as if it was pushed together, but now a very shallow river, sort of like the water flowing from the River Chionthar is beginning to fill that sort of like break in the land. As you guys head north. Go on.
I think at that point, I think Nebulon would sort of look in awe and he'd comment, I heard about the ascent, but I never would have thought it would have been this catastrophic. Did anyone else hear of the rumors of it and actually believe it?
I've read about
I mean,
it.
it seems hard to imagine, really. But then when you see it,
I know it's
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 much
far
different.
better than what I expected or thought to be here anymore.
If I'm
I
honest,
can't believe it.
I don't think books could describe what we see in front of us, really. I mean, they try, yeah, but when you actually look at it, there's no words.
The city has undergone something truly unimaginable to most of us. It's a testament to the resilience of its people, but it still stands and still operates.
And properly so.
A good example of good triumphant over evil, I suppose.
Indeed.
Beautiful, in a way.
Speaking of evil, I think I need to find some help.
well, how are you feeling compared to the other day? I mean,
Sick.
It kind of feels like a
symptoms of common
hangover, but that's about it. I mean, I've not really had any majorly angry feelings or anything since Serena put that spell on me, but it mainly does feel like a hangover.
There is a friend of mine who will be able to help once we get to the safe house.
And what about you, Leosin? How are you feeling?
I've seen better days, but glad to be back into familiar territory.
Good.
And as you guys sort of like approach the northern edge of the city, it takes you the best part of like 40 minutes to walk sort of like through these narrow streets. A thing that captures your attention is a bridge. You see this sort of like long arc of pale stone rising like a graceful curve, sort of like connecting the lower dock ward up towards the sort of like large district containing the sort of like protected enclave, the high hall atop of this sort of like mountainous hill in the center of the city. As you sort of like pass by, you can see it is gorgeously made. The parapets are carved with rows of gauntlets and sunbursts, weathered by time but still proud. You can see that some sections even bear fresh chisel work, where the damage from the city's descent seemingly has been repaired. Newer and lighter stone against the original sort of like weathered blocks. Every dozen paces you can see bronze braziers sort of like standing along the bridge's length, many of them lit with eternal flames gifted by temples and clerics. And in the center, you can see the bridge widens out into this sort of like small shrine, an open air altar of white marble. You can see there's sort of several people up there currently giving praise towards the altar. And you can see that this river, the freshly made river Chionthar, flowing underneath it. And as you're led up towards and past this bridge, you eventually find yourself in front of an inn standing defiantly near the banks of the newly formed section of the River Chionthar, just off of Elturel's main streets. You can see it is a tavern which has been weathered by the storm of time. You can see that it looks like it's been repaired, not just from the descent, but over many, many decades of like abuse and use throughout this sort of like city's history. It sort of like sits as a painstaking symbol of resilience amongst its people. It has these dark timbered facades, sort of like accented by blackened stonework, not entirely cleaned, and you can kind of get the impression that in certain places it's been left blackened with sort of like burn marks and infernal scorching. You can see a set of double doors, above which hangs a sturdy iron bracket which sort of cradles the inn's namesake. Two gnarled blackened antlers, warped slightly from heat, but polished to a sheen. You can immediately smell the scent of smoke and wood polish from the outside, mixing with this sort of like fresh river air. And you see that Leosin sort of climbs this small set of stairs leading up towards it and opens these double doors. After you.
Well,
Can you go
thank
first?
you very much.
Okay.
Inside, you see a warm and bustling inn. Many scars and stories, thick oak beams support a high ceiling, reinforced with this sort of like silver threaded wood, seemingly enchanted in some manner. You can see that very, very faintly glows in the darker sort of interior of the abode. You can see the main hall is sort of lit by these mundane chandeliers, as well as these small sort of like celestial drift globes that sort of just like hover above atop the ceiling. And the walls themselves are a decorated monument. It seems as though they've been covered with salvaged memorabilia. You see broken sword, burnt sort of prayer scrolls, sketches of Elturel as it appeared during its time in Avernus. A large sort of like charred mural behind the bar shows a phoenix rising from a crater. You can see the bar counter is dark stone veined with gold amber. You can see various taps. At this time, the bar itself seems rather quiet. There's a few people sort of like sat reading books in large plush armchairs near a burning hearth. And behind the bar, you see a individual. You see that he's wearing just sort of like half plate armor, just a sort of like shoulder guards and sort of breastplate in place with a simple sort of like leather apron thrown on. He looks intense. You can see heavy sort of like burn marks and scars on one side of his face, the large pointed ears of an elf, and a fully shaved head covered in sort of like welts and dings, long scarred over. You can see that one of his eyes is completely whited out the side of his face where it's been burned. And you see that Leosin sort of like approaches the bar. Well met, Sir Jareth. You see that the figure sort of turns to him. Master Elenthar. Didn't think I'd be seeing you again anytime soon. Harder to put down than you'd think. Indeed. I'm assuming you're looking for Master Freem. Is he around? He's downstairs right now. I'm sure he wouldn't mind if you headed down. You see, he looks over all of you. Friends of yours? Friends. Good people.
Thank you.
If you say so.
I
me
was
see,
just
so,
like
like-
looking at the phoenix in awe of it.
Turns his back towards you all and continues sort of like polishing the taps and the glasses. And you see that Leosin sort of like takes a breath. You'll have to forgive him. He's seen a lot.
Seen his
That's
type
okay.
before.
Well, I can assure you that you probably haven't seen anyone quite like Sir Jareth. He's one of the very few and surviving Weiss-ridden. He was there on the original ride with Zariel to Avernus, and he was there for the descent. As you can probably imagine, 2 bouts in hell will take it out of any man. He's retired, and now he operates a pair of black antlers as a safe haven for soldiers and for travelers.
After all of that,
Alas.
the fact that he's putting all of his good energy into something, it's something that we should
Yeah.
all
What a good man.
think.
Some
about.
people are good to a fault. You're at heart. He's one of the good ones. The city would not be standing if it wasn't for the exploits of Sir Jareth. Now, let us go meet with Vonthar. And you see he sort of like leads you towards one of the back rooms and down a set of brittle wooden stairs. As you guys begin to descend a set of wooden stairs leading into the basement, immediately the air is cool and thick with the scent of old stone and beeswax candles and the faintest trace of incense. The cellar beneath the pair of black antlers seems to have been somewhat transformed. As you descend the stairs, you see the kegs have all been pushed aside. The walls all have these sort of like intricate tapestries hung on them, showing depictions of what looks like a plate armored man with a sword in one hand, sort of like standing vigil. You can see towards the back of the room a small altar stands surrounded by low benches and cushions, and you can see that sat around in the semicircle it looks like a dozen people. You can see what looks like people of all ages, some children, some elderly, some sort of like middle-aged men, some teenagers. And you can see that standing at the altar is an impressive figure. You can see he's a stout, sort of like thick dwarven man. You can see sort of like thinning, fiery orange hair, sort of like flowing down past the shoulders, a thick, sort of well-trimmed beard tied into a tight braid and sort of like covered in ringlets heading up towards it. You can see these overgrown eyebrows and this thick sort of like potato nose in the center of his face, these bright twinkling green eyes. You can see he's wearing this set of like pale blue vestments by the looks of it, but a very casual set of like pre-steel vestments. You can see that around his neck sits a holy symbol. It looks like a single right hand, like heavy, sort of like intricately adorned chained amulet. You see he leans against the altar and addresses the people sat in the circle. Right, so last week, I think we all agreed that we were gonna give a little bit of thought to some of the things that we would regret from the descent. Some of the things that have been lingering in our memories. Now, let me ask, have any of you got anything to share? You see a man sort of like stands up, an elderly man. You see he's got sort of like grey, thinning hair in a tight crop. You can see weathered face, and you can see what looks like a prosthetic hand, sort of like this porcelain hand, sort of like attached to his left arm. You can see he cradles it slightly. Ah, Jared, please. You see the dwarven man leans against the altar, and the elderly man speaks. When it happened, my son, he was 17 years old. He was a little shit, always hanging out around the docks, always coming home late. I remember when he dropped out of school, I told him he would apprentice for me at the blacksmith. And he did. And he found a real knack for it. Talented boy. When it happened, everything moved so fast. I had to go and get to my wife. I told him to stay in the shop. I told him he'd be safe. I couldn't get back to him till 3 days later. And the shop was rubble. I left him behind. I told him I'd come back, and I didn't. And now he's gone. See that Anthar sort of like stands and walks over to the man. You know, I've always considered myself a man of action. Sword drawn, heart full of courage, shouting songs louder than the drums of war from whatever enemy it is that we were facing. But in Avernus, there were no songs. Screams and silence. Everyone was scared. Even me. And now we're back here. And we carry what we saw. What we did. And what we couldn't stop. You see a woman sort of like sobs quietly. You see a child sort of like watches Anthar speak, and eyes sort of like welling up. And you see he kneels before the man. You have an opportunity now. If you let this beast of burden consume you, it will eat you alive. You carry your son's memory with you. You channel him in every blade that you press, in every boy that you teach smithing to. You make sure they know his name. And every blade that you forge that will be used to strike down evil, you make sure his name is carved in it. So his legacy will be one of justice. You see, he sort of like stifles a sob and nods. You know, Torm teaches us all to face darkness with resolve, but he also teaches us mercy. mercy for others, and more importantly, mercy for ourselves. Mercy for the parts of us that broke. Mercy for the choices that we made when no good choices remained. You see, at this point, a teenage girl, looks like she's maybe 13 or 14, sort of like speaks up in a quiet, stifled voice and says, "The devils, they said that my mother was gone forever. They said that souls don't come back from there. They said that when they die, they stay there forever and they become like them." You see that Onthar goes, "Ah! Let me tell you this, girl. There's one thing I know for a fact. It's that devils lie. It's one thing that they're so despicably good at. I can tell you this, your mother's love was stronger than any chain in hell. And I believe, nay, I know that she watches you now, proud that you made it home." You see, he sort of moves to the altar, takes out a candle, and hands it to the girl. "Let her flame live in you. You survived, and that makes you brave. That makes you worthy of healing." See, the girl sort of like takes a seat and takes the candle and just stares into the flame. I think for this week, that'll do it. I want you all this week to consider something. We're approaching the anniversary, and some of us have scars that still sit very heavy on us. I urge you all this week to reach out, get involved in some of the community projects, working towards making Elturel what it was. No, better than what it was. That's what we all need to do. And the people of Elturel will always offer you a hand, should you be there to take it. Right, same time next week, everybody. You see that they all sort of like smile and stand up, and each one sort of like individually goes and shakes Onthar's hand as they all sort of like head up out of the Black Antlers. See, as he starts...
Background. Yay, good job.
You see, he starts to sort of like clear the altar and looks over and goes, "Well, I'll be a son of a bitch. Leosin Elanthar. You're still alive?" Huh. "Only just, Onthar. These are my friends. Well, my rescuers, I suppose you could say. They
Hey, friends.
saved me." You see Onthar sort of like takes a step over towards all of you, one by one, goes through and shakes your hand and goes, "Pleasure to meet you all. I am Sir Onthar Froome. I am the High Delegate of the Order of the Gauntlet. Pleasure to meet you all."
Pleasure to meet you too.
It's a pleasure.
You're a follower of Torm?
All my life, my father, my father's father, and his father before him.
I like
Paladins
that.
and clerics.
I follow the habit, you see?
Ah, I see. I followed the Platinum Dragon. Well, while you're in town, you should definitely go visit the Platinum Sanctuary. It's towards the left. It's in the westerly.
Okay, thank you. I'll definitely
Nice.
check
So-
that out as soon as I can.
Why don't you tell me, where did you pick up this sorry sack of shit from? What did you have to save him from this time? Dragons? Or was it perhaps beasties? A collection of owlbears? He's always been getting himself into trouble. So why don't one of you tell me the story? Because his version's going to be full of chaff.
We did well.
Well,
Yeah, who wants to start?
I mean, the cult of the dragon, I suppose. That might be something of interest.
Nobody
Yes.
ever
don't
walks
look
in and says to Onthar, "Oh, Onthar, yeah, we just had a little drink and we thought we'd come say hello." It's always something to do with an end of the world threat or something like that. But right, please continue.
well, it's kind of the same
we-
thing this time, really.
Yes,
I
pretty
assumed.
much.
Yes, and we found him,
Broken.
well,
Little
yes.
bit.
Yes.
Also point to his ankles and his wrists. Little bit broken.
And honestly,
Leosin.
we thought we were too late, but Serena here, she'll Cairo will gesture, helped.
I see.
I didn't do. I mean, it was Rail who like got him out and stuff.
Yes,
Well-
but if it weren't for you, never mind. I don't want to get
Team
negative.
effort, right?
So, how did you find yourselves wrapped up in this whole wherever Leosin was? What happened? I did hear we got raiders soon, not but yesterday. Terrible
We've been
tragedy.
trying to.
What did they tell you?
Supposedly, raiders came in, raided the village. An attempt was made at a defense, but very little could be done when the dragon showed up.
Yep.
I've sent a delegation over there with aid.
Oh,
Best
that's
I can
great.
do.
That's great.
Thank you.
Definitely needed. Much appreciated.
My pleasure.
I'll light a candle and put it over to the altar to Tom, and I'll sort of take out my journal and just flip through about 4 or 5 of my pages and then look to check. Am I looking at an open palm gauntlet by any chance?
Correct.
Perfect. Then I will almost do a silent nod, close my journal, put it back in my bag. Just a quick question to you, a bit odd. It's a bit off kilter here. Have you seen any fairies here recently? I could be wrong.
Like the one we were
Fairies?
just on?
Not gonna lie, there's been quite a lot of things that have been coming in and out of the city. I can't say that I've noticed any specifically, but I could be wrong about that. You'd probably be better asking the townspeople. I spend a lot of my times either in churches or in basements.
Okay, that is very helpful, thank you. But back to Greenest, yes, it was much worse than what you could have possibly anticipated. It was a catastrophe.
Yes.
Masked raiders, dragons, well, dragon, kobolds, dragon-like people of multiple different colours. One we actually managed to put down.
You put one of them down.
Together we did, yeah.
Team effort.
That's quite impressive. Very impressive, in fact.
Cerulean dragonkin, if I'm
you.
not mistaken.
Like a half
Langdrosa
dragon?
was the name.
He was very, and I wouldn't say this to his face, very intimidating.
Leosin, tell me, do you have suspicions that this is the same? Definitely. I gathered some information.
You guys know
As to their
about
next moves, but these people here were instrumental, and I believe that they still wish to help. Do tell me if I'm wrong.
Not wrong
No,
at all.
this is our
Yes.
mission.
I see. Well, if you've got the favor of Mr. Harper over here, then the Order of the Gauntlet is at your service, best that we can be. I mean... Right, so what do we know about this offshoot of this cult? Because I can tell you what I know, and then we can try and compare, but
Let's
I
compare.
don't know
Please
what
do.
do you think would be the best.
They're using a kobold cave to hatch black dragons. You have to send a detachment as soon as possible.
To add on to
Right.
I
that
mean,
as
this one
well,
was for black dragons, but we can probably assume that they have others for other colors, maybe too.
they also said that
Probably.
they were from, if I'm not mistaken, the lineage of Tiamat.
And there was
Listen.
also
They have a base in Nerutar, I think.
Neritar. That's
Yeah.
strange. Castle Neritar.
Yeah, something about the Mere of Dead Men. I don't know much, but
Do you-
Selling
might-
yourself
You see, he
short,
looks-
Serena.
You see, he sort of looks over at Leosin and goes, "Are you? You definitely heard Castle Neritar?
I mean,
Not
I don't
myself,
know.
but they did."
Mm-hmm.
Let's connect.
This gentleman here, he's one of the harpers. He did a fantastic job at infiltrating them, getting some information. Quilliam, if you will, tell him what you heard.
Quill's going to kind of recap it a little bit as Madame Mundath had been given orders for the army to move out. Again, they were moving the horde to Neritar, where they had a stronghold. At that point, the dragon eggs were too young to move without risking them. But once hatched, that is also their destination.
I
Well,
think
we have contacts
4 days
at
left.
Castle Neritar. It is a stronghold of the Academy of Stargazers. So it's strange that the cult would have taken up operation there.
We kind of look over
Nebula?
to Nebulon.
I thought
Sorry,
we
the
all did.
what? Could you please clarify?
The Academy of Stargazers, they're a sort of a school, an arcane sect of wizards who revere Celestian. If you're
Well, that
familiar,
sounds-
he's sort of Celestian.
Very, very familiar, actually. Where exactly can I find them?
Well, the Academy of Stargazers, their stronghold is Castle Neritar. They're
That's-
ruled over by a woman by the name of Madame Foxglove. Very good friend of ours.
Pyra, that's your.
Would I
Yes.
have heard of this back in the day, or no? No, I thought not.
Nope.
That's interesting because I don't recognize any
You
other form of that. Wizard, you said?
Wizards.
you said Madame
What is going
Foxglove,
on
did you
here?
not?
Interesting.
I did, yes.
And she just, it's a mixture of anger and sadness.
Are you okay?
Leosin, I meant
Yes.
to tell you this earlier, but my teacher, if I can remember how to pronounce it, that's
Valeria.
Salaria, yes. I meant to tell you things regarding what happened to her. And the pin that she gave me. The pin that they took. I suspect that she was murdered. By Foxglove.
Are you from the Academy?
I am from not a school, but I suppose yes.
But you're not from the Academy of Stargazers, is what you're saying.
No, sir. I am from
Right.
a coven.
Coven of the
Or
Ember
a-
Vale.
Yes, sir. It wasn't originally a coven, but when she came in, she took it over. But
I'm
my
sorry,
mother,
you're saying that Madame Foxglove took over your.
From what my mother told me, I got in there rather late when it was difficult. But my mom signed me up for it, and they took me in. And Thalaria took me as a pupil of hers. And
That definitely sounds like Valeria, to be fair, Leosin. It does. It does.
she was very sweet.
And you have reason to believe that perhaps Madame Foxglove was involved in the murder of Agent Valeria.
Yes, sir. And
How'd you know this?
she summoned me. I assume it was to learn a new spell of hers or something along those lines, but she would tell me stories occasionally about, the Harpers and things. I wouldn't say anything. I was told never to say anything. I swore not to say anything. But
That is the correct thing to do. You're amongst friends. Don't listen to him. He's a prickly old bastard. You can speak freely.
thank you. So she, anytime we would practice magic, she would tell me stories and things that they got into. And
Sorry, can I just rewind? Agent Faladi is dead.
Yes, sir, she is. And she is trying her best not to cry at this point.
What could have
right.
happened? You told her.
The day that she summoned me, I went in there as normal. However, I was stopped by a rival of mine, the pupil of Madame Foxglove, Isidolvar.
I'm saying his name.
Well, she was Madame Foxglove's favorite, and she stopped me in the hall and started picking on me as she usually does. Luckily, my familiar managed to help with, getting her away from me. I told her I was busy, I didn't have time for her shenanigans. And so I went to Thalaria's quarters, and when I walked in, I found her on the ground, unresponsive. And when I went to go check and see what was going on, I was looking to see if she was breathing. Madame Foxglove walked in and told me, verbatim, "We take you in because we pitied you, and this is how you repay us. This will be your lineage." And I tried to reason with her. I tried to tell her I didn't do this. This is not my fault. But she would
She's
not.
a prickly bit. Madam Foxglove has always been a bit of a prickly bitch, in all fairness.
I agree with you
Not-
on that.
Not evil on Thor.
And
Not
that's
true.
another. What is her name? The black dragon that we came in. She's very apparently, and I'm sorry to say, evidently
Here.
her. She mentioned Madame Foxglove to me, and she was
That would
very
be
curious.
that's the high speak. That's the worm speaker of the sect of the cult. So we think that there's something going on between the academy and the cult. Maybe.
Possibly. I don't trust Madame Foxglove. I know that she seems to be all nice, probably, to most people, but that's just for show. She's evil. She did something to my teacher, and she...
Right.
We'll figure it out, Kyra. We'll get some sort of
And
justice for your teacher.
And it's because of her that I am lying to my mother. I hate lying to her. And at this point, tears are just streaming down her, just black.
I'll give
Grab
you a
it.
hug.
Okay.
Here, take this.
Thank you.
Tissue just sets on fire.
Right.
Oh,
So this is a lot of information. So let me see if I can straighten this out. From what we know, this particular sect of the cult of the dragon is led by a half black dragon called Resmir, right?
Lady Resme.
Yes, sir.
Seems so.
And what was their motivation? I mean, obviously you were talking about hatching these black dragons, but they left them behind. They left them behind to do what exactly?
From what
I don't
Quill,
think we know.
didn't they
Really?
give us a time frame?
Yeah, so they didn't give a time frame. We thought it was going to be 1 week, but essentially once the dragons were hatched, they were also moving to the stronghold, from my understanding.
All gathering
There was
there.
a shrine in the cavern. A shrine that looked like it was dedicated to Tiamat.
Specifically the black head, though.
Well, that
Seems
makes sense if
like
she's
it
a
was
half black
right.
dragon. More concerningly, I'm less worried about the Tiamat thing. Tiamat's not a deity that anybody chooses to worship. Unless you're born from Tiamat's blood, which hasn't happened in thousands of years. The old
We think that might be
lockdown in
happening now.
Avernus. Listen,
Didn't
it's not
the-
like Torm or Helm or Bahamut, right? People worship Tiamat for one of two reasons: fear or to use her for something. Nobody would ever even consider giving praise to such a vile entity as that? Unless your
think
interest
it
is
might be
only
different.
interest is greed and destruction and pain and suffering.
Oh, that might be in their interests. We don't really know, but they did mention that the hatchlings are of the blood of Tiamat, so something
And-
seems to be going on.
If I remember correctly, when we were fighting Landerosa, I don't know if
Yeah,
where's my
Langdedrosa.
character? Didn't his lackeys or whatever the hell were next to him say something about him being kin to her in some way?
I'm not sure
Right.
if I remember.
We can
Yeah.
do hypothesizing all day. Let's focus on what we know for a fact, right? So when you got there, they headed. So you, Quilliam, you headed into the cave and you saw these dragons, hatchlings, one of them being born, right? From what you
Yes,
said. So
that's correct.
and they panicked when they saw you, right? They panicked and they seemed to all of a sudden mobilize and move out, right?
They worried with the fear of infiltration and potential subterfuge.
And they just raided Greenest and from what we can tell, a few other towns, right?
Yes.
That's correct. We have multiple
So-
sources confirming other settlements.
What were they doing? What would they? Why did they have to go? What would they take? Did they have something? Were they
They were
looking for
taking-
something?
Everything. They were taking gold, they were taking riches, they were taking supplies,
Forge.
everything that they could get their hand on.
They were looking for.
They did mention they were looking for something.
And
I
I
remember
turned
we
to
overheard
Will
them
and
say that they were
Leosin
looking for something.
before
and Green
finishing
Nest.
my sentence.
I see. Right. And do we know what that? And as you guys are having this conversation, you hear the door from atop the stairs sort of slam open, and you see sort of like descending the stairs. This interesting figure. You can see that he has sort of like pale white, almost like grayish skin, long pointed ears. You can see like a crop of very neatly barbered sort of like black hair, an undercut shaved in, and the hair kind of coming over to one side. You can see he's wearing this fine set of like what looks like red robes with these sort of like green implements on them. You can see that they're all sort of embossed with this sort of like pattern of trees and mist all over. You see, he sort of like steps down, and you can see he has two rather large-looking plate-mailed bodyguards on either side of him, and says, "Sir, I've been looking everywhere for you." My apologies, Your Highness. I was running the support. What have I told you about this support group you're doing? You are the High Delegate for the Order of the Gauntlet, Onthar. You are above duties such as running support groups for people who can't get over something that happened nearly a year ago. More importantly, we need to discuss the supply trade from Baldur's Gate over here. Lord Neverember is getting rather impatient about what the new trade agreement will be. And Duke Ravengard is also wondering when the shipments will start coming back.
Renard, do you have any
Yeah.
information about this?
Oh, will you look at that? Prince Neronvane! It's been so long! Master Neverember, what on earth are you doing here? Oh, well, it's a very long story, trust me. Essentially, there's a merry band of misfits there sort of helping me get home, if you were.
We saved his life.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Right. Well, I suppose that calls for a formal introduction. I am Prince Neronvane of the Misty Forest. Pleasure to meet you. I'm also a delegate of the Lord's Alliance. I'm also in charge of making sure that Onthar here doesn't get too busy with busy work, as it were. Onthar, it's very important that we get these papers signed today. I believe that we should call a meeting in the High Hall and have the paperwork sent over as quickly as possible to Neverwinter, Waterdeep, and also Baldur's Gate. Well, as it happens, Prince Neronvane, we were actually having a very interesting discussion about some of the unrest that's going on at the minute in the realms. Hey, Rash, what's all this about? What chaff have you all been selling him?
Not selling, but Greenest and surrounding places have fallen to dragon and kobold attacks, along with a cult raising baby dragons. You know,
Yes, I've
standard
heard.
Friday stuff.
I've heard. And what is exactly is it that we're thinking that this cult is doing?
That's what we're trying to figure out now.
We don't know
We don't
yet.
know.
So they're amassing some sort of like wealth, right? They
Mhm.
seem to be raiding these villages,
They might
maybe
be
looking for
gathering
something,
as well.
but
They are-
gathering.
They're definitely looking
Stuff.
for something. I think they're raiding Green S looking for something and saying that someone might have moved it. I don't know
I-
anything else than that.
I think that we can all agree that the thing they're looking for was most likely, and you see he reaches into the pocket and pulls out the sort of like covered red dragon head.
Can
see
you
he
tell us
sort of, like,
more about that? Like, it seems so important.
eyes
You've
it.
held it.
offers it
They-
out? See
Yeah,
Leosin
that's-
offers it out, and you see Onthar sort of like looks at it and goes, "Now that is definitely something."
Smash it.
And it's got
What
its
is
claws
that?
in me.
It's very evil, that's all we know, I think.
You
Oh.
see that Prince Naranvain and Onthar both sort of look at it. Onthar sort of like passes their hand over it. You see the fingers sort of like twinkle with this almost like pale blue energy for a second. Yeah, that's definitely got something in it. Right.
If you can, I'm sorry to ask, if you can detect that on there, can you detect anything from me?
We have reason to believe that it might have cursed him. Let me have a little look at you.
And I'll head over, I'll take my
You
sword
see,
off,
he
put on
takes
the
off the sort of like gloves, places his hands sort of like on your shoulders, closes his eyes, and you see the sort of like twinkling sort of like wash over veil. I don't know if I should be glad or sad to tell you this news, but I'm afraid that there's not actually anything wrong with you, my boy. No
That's good
active
news.
curses or anything
Right?
like that.
Right?
Can you trace
Absolutely.
any lingering?
I wonder if it has
Like-
anything to
God.
do with
Past
me
curses?
feeling completely fine the morning after our bust up.
Yeah. Well, you also lost it, the relic, right?
That's
Maybe
true, yeah.
it uncursed you?
Is
Is that a thing?
maybe.
Can
Is there anything on anyone
do that?
else who know? You know, are we all safe?
You see, he sort of like goes one by one. Nope. You all seem to be pretty clean, to be honest.
Well, that's fantastic news, right?
That's
Oh, yeah,
good.
That's good. That's good.
That's
Why are
Very
standing.
they
good news,
assuming
thank
that
God.
It is just a curse. I don't know anything about magic, but that I know. It is always very tricky. And it's not because there is no curse that there is nothing.
Well, there's no lingering desecration on you. There's no divine curses or anything of that nature. There's nothing arcane on you that I can tell. And I'm not to be that guy, but I'm fairly confident in my abilities. Maybe when you lost the relic, it dropped on you. Leosin's not even got anything on him either.
Interesting.
What are you gonna do with it now?
I was going to say, if this artifact is of interest to this cult of the dragon, it is most likely safest in the hands of the Lord's Alliance. You see,
What about the
Onthars.
Harpers, though? The Harpers have had it for... Leosin, you've had it for over a year, right? I mean, it seems like
I
they're safe
have.
with you.
It was, but it would be safer inside of a vault. Prince Naranvain is right about that. Indeed. So, give me the artifact, and I'll see it shipped over to a safe location.
The people you ship it with, you need to really trust them. This thing is very dangerous.
I do not
Are you
want-
questioning? Are you questioning
I'm sorry.
me?
I'm sorry. No, no.
I do not want to talk about the Lordling, but I will say this. The Lordling said they tried to take some information from him about a vault. I would not be so
Oh,
inclined
that's
to give
what's
anything.
going on in Waterdeep, isn't it? Trust me, it's a situation that's being dealt with. Everybody's looking for this vault. It's a whole thing in Waterdeep. It's like a treasure hunt. It's a myth. It's not true. And Lord Neverember had not embezzled any funds. It is slander. So, don't worry about that.
Velka will look over to Quail for guidance. But he's not happy about giving the idol to
I'm just going
the
to...
Lord's
Can I
Alliance.
just insight the fellow that we're going to be handing the head to, just to see if there's any...
Roll an insight check.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if he's not as trustworthy.
Incite him, Mitch. Do it.
Inside his ass.
Okay. I'm going to use my superiority dice on this one. For my... Hang on one sec. I forgot what it's called. I just want to make sure that I can do this correctly.
In the meantime,
Stuff it.
if it's possible, can I say I think it's very important that we're all honest with each other and then cast Zone of Truth?
Okay, that's an 18.
You're going to try and cast Zone of Truth on him?
No, on everyone.
Oh, on everyone. So as you go to cast a spell, question me. Snaps
No,
the
I
spell
wasn't
out of your
questioning
hands.
you. I meant so you can trust us and everyone can trust each other.
Leosin, Onthar, let me make one thing perfectly clear. I disagree with your sharing of information with civilians. This is a matter to be discussed between the heads of the various factions, right? We appreciate your help. We appreciate the good that you've done, and that is a very good thing for you to do. However, this is a situation beyond your control. You need to now realize that we will take it from here.
Very sorry. I'm very sorry, my lord. I was trying to create a safe space for you to get more information from us, but I'm sorry if I've offended you.
There are matters of state which, if I was questioned about, could prove destructive should any of you be aligned with some of the more nefarious people in these realms. Now, Onthar, Leosin, hand me the artifact.
That's an 18
You see-
insight.
You see that Leosin sort of like looks at all of you, wraps the artifact back up. On 18, he's hard to read. I mean, he's a very, very court practice speaker. You can tell he has the air of somebody who carries himself with pride at his responsibilities and also a somewhat sick satisfaction at his station. He looks young for a high elf, but you can't sense any necessarily nefarious intent on him. Like I say, he's a politician, hard to read. And you see Leosin gives one look over to all of you and moves to pass him the artifact.
I think we're out of our depth attempting to do anything here. How easy, by the way, just for reference, did Nebulon notice that individual snap the spell out of...
It didn't even have a verbal component to it. It was a snap of the fingers and the spell was dissolved.
That was interesting.
And you see he takes the artifact and places it into a small bag at his side.
Before
Right.
you take it away,
Onthar. Yes.
I know that there are people like Leosin with protection against it. Just know that thing has tried to talk to me in the past. So just
Well, it is currently in a demi-plane used for storage purposes, so unless it has any sort of cross-planar abilities, it will have a hard time.
fantastic.
Fair enough.
Onthar, I must insist that you attend this meeting. Post-haste, if you will. I'm sure that this is important, but it can wait. Right? I'm sorry, everybody, my hands are tied. But you all look exhausted anyway. Feel free, take rooms in the pair of Black Antlers, fully comped by the Order. Enjoy Elturel, and I'll meet you back here tonight, and we can discuss our next moves. Sound good?
Sounds
Great.
good.
That's good.
Good. Right. Leosin, you know what to do. One quick thing, Onthar. These people were promised payment, and unfortunately, during my captivity, I was stripped. I see. You want me to comp here again, do you? Isn't this a familiar story? Right. How much? 200 each. Fucking kidding me?
Hand it over, bitch.
You see, he hands you this sort of like large sort of sack of gold. It's in platinum. I'm afraid that you'll have to deal with it.
We can
And you
do
over 120 platinum.
Whoa.
Please.
No.
Total to be split amongst the 6 of you.
Okay.
And what about my share, Leosin? Your share says you're alive, Master Never Ember.
Nice.
My
Rael's
father will
just
hear about
grinning
this.
Ear to ear.
Leosin, you do know that the city of Elturel and the Harpers owe a great debt to the Never Ember family. I'll sort you out something later. All right, Renard? Quite. I'm sure some of my friends and bodyguards will lend me some cash in the meantime.
Rael? That's
As
you.
he says that,
Do you think, since you're in charge of him, do you think he deserves it?
Fine, I'll babysit the noble.
Well, he is your sort of.
Come
liege.
along, Onthar. We have a lot of work to do. Right. Speak to you all later.
Alright.
We'll
See you soon.
around.
And thank you.
And you see that
Should
Prince
we-
Nerenvain and Onthar sort of like head up the stairs. I'll say that Leosin leads you into the sort of like main pool of the pair of black antlers where you are free to speak.
What do you guys think about what's happening to the dragon head? Do you trust this guy?
The Lord's Alliance profess to do good, but inside they're just run by mortals who get folly with greed and with poor choices. I think if
You
we are
speak for your
interested
Quilliam, let me stop you right there. You do not talk about my father like that, for one. The Lord's Alliance are the most just and upstanding organization in all the realms. They're the closest thing to an organized government that we have, and we can trust them. They're the people in charge of all the important decisions. So yes, I think that we have done the right thing by putting that horrific thing in their hands.
When I was
Followed
in-
by a
the
bureaucracy.
decisions when they serve just the rich and mighty
Renar, I can actually
is the understanding I have.
but yeah, I can trip you up there, Renar. Do you know the reason why I ended up in Greenest?
Oh, this should be
Because-
interesting.
I don't know if your father didn't use protection when him and his mother had coitus.
Well, yes,
mother-
technically true.
Him and his mother.
Oh, how beautiful.
Him and your mother? Whatever.
Is that how your family came about? Because that makes so much sense.
No, I was planned to be an heir for my father, and raised in court to be such.
But anyway, back to what I was saying. I was
Sorry,
sent to
Will.
Greenest because the Lord's Alliance were doing some dodgy dealings.
Very much that is true, Rael.
And when I
It is-
raised it to my superiors, I was sent away without warning.
Well, perhaps you stuck your nose in confidential matters that didn't concern you.
Precisely. And it looks like
Did you
they
think
were...
that?
Yeah, I did. And they were dodgy things that probably didn't need to concern me. But the thing still stands. I'm not 100% sure that I'm okay with it being with the Lord's Alliance.
Rael, let me teach you a valuable life lesson, right?
Oh, do tell.
The people in power make the decisions, right? As such, you shouldn't question the people in power because they are educated. They know what they're doing.
But what if
Whatever
they're
you
wrong?
think you saw was probably out of context and you didn't have all of the information, and it's likely that you might have compromised a very important mission. Did you think about that?
That's a lot of insight coming from you, Renar.
Trust me, in things like this, my father makes sure I am very well versed in protecting the family name.
Well, put that to good use from now on then, okay?
I
What
will
about
protect my family
protecting
name.
the family name by having a good image towards your citizens.
Well, we do have a good image. We've rebuilt Neverwinter from the ruins after the eruption of Mount Pocono. So I'd say
What
it's a pretty
about-
good image.
What about your personal reputation? Maybe you can work a bit on that while the rest of us.
My personal
work on
reputation
this
is
one.
fantastic, I'll have you know. Prince Nerenvain and I, when we were boys, used to abort all the time at my father's keep.
Sure. Good for you. What do you guys think? I mean, we can't really do much about the
Let's go
Dragon
and
Head
get
now,
some
can we?
rest.
Yes, okay.
I agree.
If
I will
I'm
say
not
this.
very- Sorry.
Now that you've all been paid, none of you are obligated to stay. You are all welcome to go on your way. If you wish to continue to help, I'm sure myself and Onthar would be grateful, and you will be paid for your work. I would just like to say that our contract is done, our initial contract.
I like the addition of initial there. Something tells me that we'll be able to carry on further forward if it's okay with everyone else.
I think this is our mission now. Probably.
Everything
I'm not
seems-
leaving.
How do you guys feel?
I'm staying.
I'm staying.
Everything seems to be intertwining, so
Yeah.
probably best.
It seems like we've all been brought together, like Kyburn said, right?
Yeah.
I never
There's
actually
something
spoke
that
with
connects
Kyburn, but
us.
it was beautiful to send him off on his way.
It was.
He said that we were all here for a reason, or something like that. The five
Does
of us
seem that
plus
way.
one more, and that surely must be you. You're connected as well.
I've always thought that the stars align one way or another. I suppose in this case they have.
Yeah, I think they do. At the Stargazing Academy, apparently.
Well, that is something I must look into because I've never heard of them. And trust me, I've learned a lot about the stars and almost too
Yeah.
much.
Hmm.
I mean, it sounds like it was made for you, or
It
something like
does.
that.
But that's
We're just a group
interesting.
of aligned stars, aren't we?
That we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twinkle, twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle.
Well,
Twinkle.
like I say, we have traveled through the night. By the way, everybody takes a level of exhaustion. If you haven't
Sorry, I've
already.
already added it on.
Oh,
Cool.
great! Wonderful.
We traveled through the night, and I'm sure that you're all weary. As Onthar said, we've been comped rooms, individual rooms in the pair of Black Antlers. But if there's anything anyone would like to do in the city, you have the day. So please feel free to go about your way. I can direct you if needs be. I can direct you if needs be to anywhere that might be of interest to you, or you can go out and explore yourselves. It's completely your choice.
I think the only thing
Should
I
we
need
sleep
right now
first,
is
or-
sleep and health potions.
Yeah.
Me too. Well, no, I want a new.
I'd like to
no,
explore
but
the
I-
city. I've heard a lot about this place, and well, I want to see how it's fared since the
What
destruction.
time is
I
it
suppose.
roughly?
Roughly, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning.
So
It
if we
is.
sleep, everything will be closed, kind of.
Most likely.
Damn it!
All right.
This is like my sleep schedule in real life.
Well, if people are going shopping, Quill would much rather get like an in kind of room and kind of zoom into his amulet to get the kind of 4-hour long rest.
I mean, if you want me
and
to
get rid of the exhaustion.
Then again, we don't really know you're in your amulet. I was going to offer you to carry you around, but
The Pokeball.
in the Pokeball,
So,
yeah.
A Pokeball.
who
Yeah.
here is going shopping? I was gonna have Kyra go, but I forgot the one level of exhaustion.
It's fine. We'll sleep it off.
I'd like to take a
Alright.
little look around. I mean, if we're going to wait for
So
a few
yeah,
hours, I'll wait.
who's going straight to sleep? Who's going out into the city for a bit? The level of exhaustion, it will give you disadvantage on ability checks, but it's not going to kill you. It's just, a sleepless
Said
night.
that now, but watch until he kills us. Oh.
I
I'll
mean,
take a
I
little look
could-
around. I mean, it depends. If everyone wants to stay, I will stay with the group. No problem.
Well, do we need to head out quickly, or can we stay for a day?
I
Are
think
we
we
in a
have
rush?
the day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
do we have
What the morning what this evening's meeting brings, we do not know.
Meeting.
It is possible that there will be some haste once Onthar speaks with the rest of the order. It is also possible that we have days. It's unknown, but I would say if there's anything anyone wants to do, now is the time to do it.
Maybe the urgent
Okay.
thing.
Well,
Quill,
with that.
do you still need me this minute? Or may I be excused?
You're dismissed, Vilka, and thank you for the help.
Oh yeah, Vilka, you're from here, right? Or you've been here? Do you know some people here?
I have been here before, though mainly passing.
Do you have some people you wanna? Sorry if that's personal.
I do not have people, Solena. At least not here.
You have us.
Let's go and enjoy the city. I mean, for yourself, go and enjoy the city. I'd rather stay here for now and maybe have some rest. I know the
You
people
sure?
of Elturel. I know they will welcome you well, so go enjoy the city. I don't need to see it for myself, for which I've seen already.
Do you need any
We'll
items
be
while we're
thinking
out?
of you.
Do you have, and I'm sorry if this is too personal of a question, favorite treats?
He's not Leo.
Well, I'm just. Leo just kind of pokes his head out. No. What I meant was like candy, something.
Maybe some dried meats for you, Vilka.
He looks at you a little bit, like, bewildered. And he just... The money we've been given. I do not want it. For I do not agree with giving the idol to the Lord's Alliance.
You and me
I'd rather
both.
it go to a better use. I'll
Thing
let
is-
you decide which.
We'll grab you a couple of things while we're out there then.
Alright.
Alright,
What's the plan, guys? Who's staying home? Who's heading out?
I'm
I'll
heading
head
out.
out.
heading out.
I'll say Kyra's going to head out for one thing and then immediately come back.
Pretty much the same.
Vilka will
So
stay
Quill-
in the church a little bit.
Cool.
And then
So-
just go to rest.
Cool. So Quill and Vilka are staying behind. The other four of you are heading out, yeah?
Hey, Renar,
Yes.
Yes.
Let's have it.
Yes.
how about some food and stretching your legs after that journey? And who knows, maybe you can get us a discount.
I think I've had quite enough of stretching my legs. I'm going to go and find the largest stream of those booked, and I'm going to sleep.
Oh well.
I'll chuck over one of the platinum for.
Just a
Renar.
question. Does anybody know if there is any good brothels here in Elturel?
And I'm walking outside.
I've already joined you.
Quill's going to explain the direction to two different ones, down like a seedier part of the city. I was going to say,
Excellent.
make sure you tap Rainier.
Right.
I saw
I
one of
certainly
them
will.
Renar.
has like some sort of play, like 2 maidens, 1 chalice or something. I don't know.
That sounds
like-
fun.
Yeah.
Right. Ta-ta! I'll see you all later for the important meeting for our group.
Yeah, I don't trust you going off alone. I'm not gonna lie.
We're in Elturel. I'll be fine.
You sure?
Do you want to come to the brothel?
Not really, but if it means looking after you.
Exactly. I'll be fine. This is my sort of area of expertise.
Right.
Leave it to me.
I didn't need
I'll
to
gather
know
some
that.
hot goss too while I'm out.
Which one are you
Oh,
going
that might be
to?
useful,
So I
actually.
know where you are.
I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
Well, can you
Maybe the one
decide?
that's got that play with 2 girls and 1 cup. That sounds quite interesting.
Ah.
No. It was 2 maidens and 1 chalice.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Well,
What was the name
enjoy.
of it?
But let's.
Renar, what was the name of the place? Do you know?
Oh, it's called 4 Horses Prancing.
Okay, I won't forget that.
You're welcome. Right. Ta-ta all.
Ta-ta.
Cool. So is everybody except Quill and Vilka heading out then?
Yeah.
Cool. Happy days. So, first things first, I'll say this. As the 4 of you head out into the city proper, you see, before you head upstairs, Quill, Leosin sort of like pulls you to one side. Quilliam, a moment of your time, if you will. Whether or not this meeting tonight goes well, I would say that your future lays westward along the Sword Coast. Be that Baldur's Gate or wherever you may head to next. I would like to give you your first mission, as it were.
Yes, sir.
In Baldur's Gate, I want you to meet with a woman by the name of Jaheira. She is one of the High Harpers, and she will want to know all the information we know about the Cult of the Dragon. In addition, I want you to inform her that Prince Neronvain has taken the artifact.
Do we know where the prince plans to store the artifact?
Unsure. Jaheira will most likely know more. And when you see he looks around, give her this. And hands you a piece of parchment sealed with a wax seal. She'll know what to do.
Is going to kind of take it and stash it away safely, and they'll say, I give you my word for all that is worth. This shall go directly into the hands of Jaheira.
Good. Now, you definitely need sleep, as do I. I'll see you this evening.
Until then, sir. And I kind of nod and back away.
Incredible. And the two of you part ways. The four of you heading out into Elturel proper. So, go ahead, guys. If you step out of a pair of black antlers, go ahead and tell me what it is that you're looking for out in the city.
First and foremost, have we already split the platinum pieces?
I'll say that
20.
everybody currently
Psychopath.
has 200 platinum pieces each.
20.
200?
Sorry,
Hell yeah.
20 platinum pieces.
200
200
gold.
gold pieces each.
Yeah.
Alright.
But
I was going to say,
since
that's
Use
very
gold, it
generous.
makes your life a lot easier.
yeah. Since you already said it, can we have 200 platinum?
No.
Oh,
Nice try.
Worth a try. Worth a try. Don't ask, don't get.
don't
That's
knock the hustle.
So I'll say this. The city of Elturel is split into three distinct wards, as it will. You have the High District. The High District is mostly the High Hall, a lot of the sort of like more wealthy villas and things of that nature. It's quite a lot of like, you know, the temples and shrines and things of that nature. It's the sort of like area up on top of the large hill, mountain-like structure in the center of town. You have the Westerly, which is the westernmost side of Elturel. There, it's a lot of like, it's the more upper range, sort of like stores and shops and things of that nature, as well as some of the more down-to-earth religious facilities, things like, you know, feast halls, some of the larger sort of like ceremonial areas, as well as what you would assume to be like the cemetery district and things of that nature. Whereas the dock district is your very standard sort of like, it's got the large market in the center of it. If you can see the large circle on the Elturel map, that is Shira's Market. It's a lot of like farmers markets where all of like the merchants traveling through Elturel go to sort of like unload their wares. A lot of that sort of like things, all sorts of like proclivities and weird sort of things going on around there. It's also where you'll probably find most of like the costas, the trading posts, and like, you know, your armories and things of that nature. So go ahead and tell me where you guys would sort of like head out. You're in the northernmost edge right now of the dock district, which is just over here. It's labeled number 15 on the map.
Perfect.
Guys, what do you
Westerly,
guys
the High District, or the dock district.
Well, how about we start with our casters? What do you guys need to pick up?
what do you guys plan on getting? in
Well,
this
I sort of embarrassingly go into my my journal and I just pull out a small parchment. I've got a to-do list, if it helps.
Oh,
Oh!
I'm so excited.
that's so
I've got a
cool.
whole list of things to do. I'm buzzing.
When
I've
did you
never
write
been to a
this?
city this big in a long time. So,
Wait, oh my god, guys. Can we first go to that eternal flame that was before? Maybe we can see Kyra's mom?
I'm just
I
going
don't know
to add
if
that to the
that's
list.
Eternal-
Yes! Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we could try. I don't know.
Think
if she
about it,
would
your mom will
answer.
always be watching because the flame is eternal. That's kind of scary, isn't it?
Okay, we're going.
Guys, I have to say, like, I do need to do some shopping, but the real important thing for me is I really want to check out the Temple of Bahamut. I heard that they have one here. Well, you guys all heard it too.
I'm heading to temples as well at one point. We could
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Do you
Well,
have
maybe
it-
we can do
Do you
like a
think they
temple
have a
run.
temple of Kossus by any chance? I mean, I don't. I would visit from time to time where I was from, but it's been a while.
Oh.
Well, how about this? I've got it. I've got to write this as point number 0.
You're the best at, like,
Eternal
making
flame,
maps
right?
and routes.
We could go there
Can you do,
first.
like an itinerary?
I've got one, yes. So number
Awesome.
0, we go to the eternal flame, whatever that is.
Why do we
Number
start
1,
from zero?
Okay.
because I had my first point was
Are
something
you a
else, but
programmer?
well, no, I just had a point 1, but I never considered the eternal flame, so I've added that to 0. We do that one first.
I think he's kind of, if I may, gridding it
course.
like stars. Maybe. Do
Well,
they do
it's-
that?
What?
Wait,
Kind of,
aren't
I
you
guess.
connected like little dots, so it's like a star?
Yeah,
symbol
it's
or something?
as a
Whilst this is
turn
all
the-
happening, DM, I'm literally grabbing all 3 of them and we're heading towards the Eternal Flame.
So you guys sort of like head southwest. You guys sort of head southwest and you make your way towards the large bridge you'd seen before, Torm's Blade Bridge, the sort of large arcing white marble bridge that leads up towards the High District. And you can see these sort of like the brass braziers with the eternal flames sort of burning every few sort of like paces across the bridge. So I'll say that you guys sort of like go to one of the ones that's like at the entrance to the bridge, and you can see it's a very well made sort of like large brass bowl, like hung on what looks like an iron sort of like lattice, and the fire's sort of like burning even in the middle of the day.
I note that in
Wow.
my journal. Just kind of like do a
Oh,
quick sketch
that's
if I can,
gorgeous.
and then just have
Yeah.
a look at
Tyler,
this.
what's your mom's
Amazing.
name?
Wow.
Pyrus.
Pyrus?
Pyrus.
Like papyrus, but without the pa?
like pyromancy.
Oh, that's convenient. Hi, Pyrus. I'm gonna say it's one of the flames. Just see if she's in there. Hello. Your
Well, I
daughter's
can-
really cool. She does badass things with fire and stuff.
I mean,
You'd be really proud of her if you saw her.
she's not really happy with me right now, but I can try
Oh.
to contact her.
But you're doing
I
good
just-
stuff in life.
I know, it's just she's mad at me for something I did, and I regret doing it. And she's
Tyra,
just
if you want
kinda-
to reach out to your mother, go ahead and roll me a D100.
And she just like, just in case, like, if she does yell at me, I don't want it directed at any of you, so if you could just
No,
Rail's going to
I'm
find a
strong.
really comfortable place to sit and just watch it unfold.
Take a step back.
I'll stand
I'm
next to you, I'll
afraid.
be supporting you.
Please.
While this is all happening, Nebulon, we're just
That's-
literally, we've got a little map.
That's a
of Elturel,
42.
just drawing
I'm just
the-
writing this all
yeah,
down. Like,
yeah,
this
I'm
is
just
great.
looking like, oh,
Wow.
yeah.
The
It's not
dads are like
bad, yes.
planning the trip, while the daughters are.
As you sort of like reach out into the flames, Kyra, you sort of like stare deep. You start to see embers
Hi, mommy. It's
sputter
me.
out.
Wait, did the eternal
see-
flame end?
You see that two of the coals sort of like in the pit illuminate bright crimson, and the flame doubles inside, and
Whoa.
then settles back down.
Hi. Hello, mother.
Their response.
Oh,
Oh,
she's
Wait, did she
really
give
angry
you the
with you.
silent treatment?
I know.
Hey,
Mm.
Pyrus, your daughter is really, really good. She's doing good things for the world. You should talk to her.
I don't think pressing the owlbear when it's miffed off is the best idea.
Well, you don't know any better, do you? You've never met her either.
Oh, I've heard her.
So-
I also heard her as well. She was
I
quite
also heard
angry.
her.
She is incredibly loud.
But it's family, and you should
It's-
stick together. And
Best not to press
You
family.
see,
then.
as this is you see as this is happening, what looks like a procession of 7 priests sort of like come over the bridge. You see that one of them towards the back, as they pass you, turns around and goes, "Excuse me, are you walking to a flame?"
What? Oh,
Is that a problem?
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
She's fine.
I'm fine.
It's been a
She's
long few
perfectly
days.
fine and
It
independent. and
has,
strong.
and I'm very tired.
It's okay, don't worry. We'll make sure that she has enough rest.
Right. If you need some help, I can. You see, he sort of like turns to you, Rael, and sort of like, if she needs a psychological evaluation, then I can offer that to you if you wish.
Wow, they're really ahead of the times here.
And I'll
now,
turn
Phil.
around to Kaya and I'll go, you know, everything that's going on with your mother, do you feel like you need a psychological evaluation?
I hate lying to her, and I've been lying to her, and this is why she's probably not answering.
Oh, she's whispering to herself. That's concerning. Well, tell you what, if you head over to the westerly Helm's Shield Hall, Brother Dawnspring will be able to help with that.
Brother
Dawnspring?
Dawnspring.
Shit.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, but that's Rail. That's your name. Do you have a brother?
Dawn. It's a bastard name. Don't stress too much about it.
What does that mean? Are you a bad person?
No. So
bastard?
when you are born illegitimately, you
Oh, like that kind
you
of
gain
bastard.
you gain a different surname, usually
You
linked to the area. But you know what? We'll go and say hello just in case.
Maybe he is your brother.
You never know.
I'll just.
You never know. Anyone could be my brother.
I
could be
was
my
gonna
sister.
Ask, DM.
I mean,
Yes.
both my parents are orcs. One's beige and the
Would-
other is green, but they're both orcs, so I think.
Would Kyra
True.
have been told, like, things regarding her birth? Like certain things she's not supposed to
Not in explicit detail. It's always been kind of you were a miracle given to us by Kasuth himself. That very classic sort of like shelled parents who are like overly protective, sheltering you from the truth.
Okay. Okay. So she's like, I don't know. I mean, if you want to, we can go, but I don't know. And she just like looks down at the ground like a scolded child.
You'll
Like
be
she's in
fine.
trouble.
Don't worry, it's fine. It's not a problem. We'll be fine.
Well, that is number 0 completed. So please
It
do
is.
tell us.
I'll
what is
pull out
task
my lovely list again, and like you say now, it was a great idea, by the way. You see, it's almost like I've connected dots, like I've made a new star chart for it. Right, number 1, we're going to go to the post office. I've got a letter to drop off. If there is one
Oh.
here, I presume that would be a case. Plus, we can find, they definitely would know the locations of the rest of the stores in this place, so it would be nonsense to not go there,
Sounds
right?
great.
Perfect.
I would like
away!
But I
I would like to know
definitely
where a
think-
wizarding robe store is. Where a wizard robe store
Yeah,
is.
your robes
because
are
I would
quite
like to,
strange.
Get rid.
Would
I would-
everyone
I mean,
mind
I come from a small town, but
if we stopped off at the post office? Would that be?
Of course.
yes.
I will
let's go.
tell you this, my child.
Of,
Who is
of
this?
course.
I don't know where you've gotten the notion of a post office from, but other than particularly powerful clerics and mages, the transportation of messages across the realms is quite a difficult thing. There's no post force, as it were. It is more of a magical inclination.
Right, I may have got that wrong. I spent a great many years, at least to me it was, just learning the theory of what everything is. Not that I paid any
You see that
attention.
one of the other priests sort of like steps over and goes, "Oh, mind you say that, but there's always Ethan Rusk and his little side project." "Oh, that is true. A gentleman named Ivan Rusk. He runs the coach works down in the dock ward. he has a bit of a hobby of training carrier pigeons. I don't know how well they work, but you could give it a go.
Oh,
Sounds like that sounds perfect. I say we head there.
Do you think Luminari would be able to converse with them?
See, I've already tried this before.
Carrier-
By the time that Luminari
Wow.
gets past about a mile, I think I lose track. and
Oh
then
no, I
ju-
mean
just-
talking to the carrier pigeons.
I mean, I could try. I've never actually attempted that before.
It's just a thought.
and
But okay, so
I
what
will
See,
you want
let's do it.
with our
Yes.
goals, we're heading to the docks to go and do this. We're going to go look for a new robe. We're going to look for health potions. I want to look at armor. And is there anything else major that we need to do?
Well,
Go
actually,
to the temple.
on my list, it has everything we need. We'll go to this dock place, then we'll go to the temples, wherever I'm sure they're conglomerated together, right? And once we've done that, then we'll go to the market for
Not
bits
that
and bobs.
And I want
Nebulon, you
again
would make
drag
an
them
excellent.
all over,
tour
and we're going to
guide.
head to the
Right.
So,
docks.
for the sake
just-
of brevity, I will say this. Right now, you guys are on the
No.
bridge system leading over towards the westerly. You're the closest to the westerly that you're going to get in this particular portion of the city. So, everything else that you're saying, so the coach works, the market, some of the other sort of like lesser stores, the Costas, are all in the dock district. So it'd be a matter of, do you want to go to the dock district to come back up to the Black Antlers to go back over to the westerly, or do you want to go to the westerly and do the temples first, then come back to the dock wall where you can just head back
There
up
we
to the Black
go.
Antlers?
Temples first.
Temples first?
Let's do
Amazing.
it.
I mean,
I'll just
if they have,
re-scribble my
if they
notes.
have a temple
There it
of
is.
Costas,
New path.
then maybe I can visit that.
Done.
Have a look at it.
I'll gesture
Amazing.
over to the
Wait.
priest. Grazie.
Which temples? Are we
appreciate
gonna
that.
do all of them?
Thank
I
you.
want to do all of them. Can we do all the temples? Please, Rael,
I-
please.
How can you say no to that
You
face?
can pick one, and then if you're not happy with it, we'll think about
No,
another. How
but you
about
know
that?
which one I'm gonna pick. Can I have a
Exactly.
backup one too?
Okay, you can have a
No, can I
backup.
have
You
two
can.
temples?
Okay. You can
As
have
you
a
guys are
Please.
walking over the bridge into the westerly district, you guys begin to see the sort of like rumble of the dock district and the more domestic side of Elturel give way to the sort of like reverent, quiet westerly district. Here you can see what appears to be like several large villas where noble families once stood. Interestingly enough, the westerly side of town looks like it was a town that was less touched by the travesty of the descent. However, 1 in every 10 houses does bear some quite severe marks of hellfire, as it were. As you guys start to make your way down, you see the villas start to form around you, the larger houses, the sort of upper middle class district of the city, and smatterings of various large temples. I'm going to go ahead and take a break there as you guys make your way into the westerly. So, as you guys descend into the westerly district, a neighborhood of modest homes and luxurious villas, very, very, very well made and recently seemingly refurbished, sort of like cobblestone streets, still have some signs of age. Every few houses you see what looks like claw marks etched deep into the stonework. You can see what looks like the sort of like blasted black trademark of flames which have licked these buildings. But the Westerly district, all things considered, is one of the more upstanding districts and seems like it was one of the first to be repaired. So, as you guys begin to wander through, there are a few things that catch your attention. Number one, as I say, it definitely seems as though this is the more sort of upper class district, as it were. In addition to that, it seems like this is a lot of like what looks like temples and artisan guild houses, which are closed to the public and things of that nature. Where is it that you guys want to head first?
Nebulon, can you draw that temple so we can remember what it looks like?
I can probably do that. I'm not the best of sketches, but
You've done excellent. You're an artist.
I'm all right at doing star charts. I've been doing that most of my life. But
Guys, can we go to the Temple of Bahamut, please?
well,
Of
I
course we
I
can.
hope
I
they're all
thought that would
conglomerated
be-
together.
Yeah, Temple of
they have
Bahamut
one of-
first, then.
Yes.
And if,
See,
and
agreed.
if they
Guys,
have,
do you want to come in?
Yes.
Do you want to see what it's like inside?
You should probably get there
Sure.
first, right? Then I
Yes.
think we'll just head to the.
Can't wait.
We'll start eagerly walking towards the temples.
You know what, Nebulon? Just go ahead and give me a survival check.
Oh,
Disadvantage.
of course, I am exhausted.
Because it's a city. Oh no.
Mhm.
That's really good though. 13 and 17. So I'll 13 on the dice. So that is ultimately factor skills, abilities, survival. Yeah,
Yes.
18 in total.
Hey.
So, the urban environment isn't your favored terrain, let's say, Nebulon. You guys wander around for a decent hour, and there's a few things that you sort of catch while you're looking around for the Platinum Sanctuary. One of the first things that you notice entering in is what appears to be a large sort of like circular, almost like open air building. It's large sort of like arches surrounding what looks like a large fountain in the center of it, which you would know to be Helm's Shield Hall by the regalia that's sort of like plastered all over the front of it. You pass by a very old inn, which seems like it's a little bit avoided. It looks a little bit shady, which is strange for this sort of particular area, called the Angel, which is just over the sort of like road from Helm's Shield Hall. In addition, a couple of shops that you guys pick up on as you're passing through. A shop by the name of Maharati's Prophecies, what looks like a very small building dug into a sort of like fully attached street of terraced houses. Sort of been painted in this sort of like dull, like indigo color on the outside. You can see stars that have been placed in it, and the sign sort of has a pair of eyes and a crystal ball with arms open. You also pass by a shop by the name of Bontazaron Lagardi's Instrumental Intricacies.
What a mouthful.
Yes. You also pass by a number of luxurious villas. In addition to, as you guys near the southern edge of the town, you see what looks like a grand walled sweeping ceremony, which takes up what would probably be the size of a large housing estate. Some of the graves look freshly. It's walled, so it has like a sort of 6-foot wall sort of around it with a pair of gates. A sort of like grand cemetery. You can see there's several people inside seemingly working in the cemetery, fixing up graves that have been damaged by the descent still, digging new graves. Other than that, it takes you the best part of an hour, but eventually you guys near sort of like the southern edge, and you begin to move towards the westerly dock ward. This westerly dock ward is much quieter than the actual dock ward towards the east of Elturel. Seems like it's more sort of like passenger ships, as it were. You could see what looks like a very quiet set of like very well-maintained skiffs and sort of like ferries leading in. Looks like definitely the richer people, sort of like mode of transportation. And eventually down towards the dock ward, you see what looks like a very, very small almost like wooden steepled church. You can see there's a sort of like bell hanging. You can see it's been painted white, but the paint's sort of like peeling in places. Has a sign sort of like next to it just reading the Platinum Sanctuary, open to all.
I'm sorry it took us a long time. I guess it was a nice detour.
Great stuff along the way. Did you see the place with the stars, Nebulon? That looked like something for you.
I'm
Maybe we should go
definitely
back
going to check
there
that place
more
out. I mean,
yeah.
I almost recognized the sign on the front, but we'll get to that soon. First, it's the Platinum Dragon. Let's head in.
Yay! Have you guys met him before? Oh, no, probably not, right?
No,
No.
can't say I have.
Just you. Wait, it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna go
After you.
hug the temple when I see it. I'm just gonna.
And as you guys like sort of see, the large sort of like doors of the church are wide open, and inside it's a very, very pleasant, simple sort of like almost rural looking church. You can see a large sort of like a pale blue and silver carpet stretches the length of the aisle. You can see various pews on each side, and at the edge what looks like a simple sort of like raised dais, on top of which you see an altar. You can see a large bowl of offerings, and over which you see what looks like a magnificently carved sort of marble structure of a dragon, head raised looking towards the ceiling. You can see stained glass windows all around depicting this gorgeous scene of these like celestial mountain range and a platinum dragon, which almost out of the corner of your eye, you feel like you can see just doing laps of the stained glass windows.
I'm home.
As you enter inside, you see what looks like a couple of people sort of like quietly giving prayer, sat at the pews. You can see that they're sort of like looking down towards the floor, hands clasped, just sort of muttering to themselves. You see what looks like a priest. You can see a woman dressed in these sort of like priestly vestments, the pale blue with the silver thread, much matching the insignia, as well as the sort of like very sort of like delicately made silver chain coming to a symbol of a platinum dragon curled in on itself. You can see that she's sort of like lighting candles and tending towards the altar, organizing the offerings, just sort of like cleaning up around the altar a little bit. You can see that she looks like she's sort of like in her late 60s. She looks human. She has like the bags under her eyes, a bit of age over her face. Looks kindly, has sort of this like big poof of white hair that's like frizzy and like curly in places. And yeah, she just sort of like tends towards the altar. What would you like to do?
Is she busy right now?
Just looks like she's like cleaning, just taking her, doing her general duties.
I'm obviously gonna run around everywhere and take in every detail of this wonderful place. But then I'll go to the priest and, Platinum Father, watch over you. Can I have some help? Can you help me out?
Of course, my child. Pleasure to meet you. Are you new to town?
Yes, I am, but I'm not new to Bahamut, so.
I see. Well, my name is Lady Vaynar. I am the High Priestess of Platinum here at the Sanctuary. And what is it I can do for you, my
We're like
fellow
a
child of
celebrity.
Platinum?
So my holy symbol was taken away from me, and
I see.
and I was wondering if, can I get a new one?
Oh, that
I
shouldn't be a problem.
felt a little bit disconnected since I lost it, so it would
Of course,
be
and
much for me.
you're a cleric, I see, yes?
Yes.
Right, that shouldn't be a problem. If you just give me a quick second. You see, she actually takes the sort of delicate silver chain from around her own neck. Is there any preferred method of symbol you would like?
I mean, an earring would be great, but I can be flexible.
You see the sort of like delicate silver dragon charm that's on the very like the thin chain around her neck. She sort of like slides it off of the chain, sort of like curves a little piece of iron round into an earring and hands it towards you.
But this is yours, right?
Oh, I have many, don't worry.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This means so much to me. I
Of
really
course.
appreciate it. How have things been here at this?
Well,
The sanctuary, I must admit, I am rather new here. I've only been here 6 months myself. The previous incumbent priest of the sanctuary was unfortunately killed during the descent. I was sent here by the vestry in the north to oversee the worship of the Platinum Dragon here in Elturel.
Yeah. Well, I'm sad to hear of the passing of, but good that there's someone still taking care of the temple.
Of course, and I'm sure the priest, in all of his wisdom, is at peace with the Platinum Dragon now.
He is with Bahamut now, so I hope it's a better place.
Of course.
Would it be okay if I pray for a bit?
Of course, please help yourself.
Yeah. Guys, do you wanna pray too?
It's not my forte, but I'll allow you to carry on.
I'm not
Do
really.
you
If you would
mind?
like, if you would like, my child, I'm happy to lead you through a officiated ceremony of sorts. I don't know if you've had any particular professions of sin or anything recently, but I can take you through the rites.
Serena, do you
What?
still have your old, the one you
The
were
other
using
one.
before?
Yeah.
Just
I'll
put
pull
it
out.
into my hand and just don't say anything more, and I'll get rid of this.
Well, I don't want to hide my shame from Bahamut himself. He's in this place. I'm sorry, priestess. I know this seems sacrilegious, but it was forced upon me, and it wasn't my will, and I had to pretend to stay safe. But could you get rid of this?
Oh my! And you see, she sort of like looks at it, and her hand sort of like quivers a little bit. Perhaps those rites would be fortuitous for you, my child. It will take probably an hour or so to complete the full ceremony. If your friends would like to either give thanks or meet you back here within the hour.
Do you guys want to come back later then? I
we
can
do
give you
that.
my shopping
We can.
list.
Sure.
Okay.
Not a problem. I'll take it, I guess, unless anyone else prefers to wield the shopping lists. I've currently got a list of
Wield
my
the
own.
shopping list.
I don't know. It's
I've had enough of lists for a little bit, so you hold on to it.
I'll take it. Okay, not a problem.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
I'll
It's really
then.
important that you get the mushrooms.
Right. Sure.
Thank
see,
you.
I'll sort of put it away, and as I'm sort of leaving, I'll put a gold piece in the offerings box, and then
Not a
walk away.
platinum?
Cairo will do the
No.
same thing.
Oh, and priestess,
Yes.
do look after her. She is an Ashbourne.
I give you my word. She'll be safe here.
She's the best.
Aw, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Or
Incredible.
about me.
And you watch as Sister Vaynar begins to sort of help you doff your armor and sort of like gives you a set of proper sort of like ceremonial vestiges to sort of like place on yourself and begins to set up like the ceremonial rites and the blessing of the Platinum Dragon. While this is going on, what are the rest of you doing?
Well, does anyone need to visit any temples? I would like to visit two, but not for any rather, faithful purposes.
I'll check out the walls, but again, religion is not my forte.
Not mine either, but yes, Kyra, what is you wanted to do?
Cautious if they have one. If they don't, then that's fine. But
What does Cautious?
Cautious?
what is that?
He is, if I remember correctly, basically mine and my mother's.
Right.
Roll me a religion check, Nebula.
Oh, it's with disadvantage as well, isn't it? Natural 1.
Oof.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him, actually. But if you're enthusiastic, we can certainly have a little look. In the meantime, I'll take a quick little look around and see if there's any any members of the public nearby. Maybe
Oh, there
other
are
priests.
several sort of like coming and going. Anyone in particular you're looking for?
Just one that might be able to know their way around this district. Someone of a more faithful background.
You see what looks like some sort of like craftsman. You see he's wearing like a sort of like leather doublet. You can see he looks fairly well maintained. You can see a series of like quills sort of like spread out into his pocket. You can see a little pouch which looks like it has a bunch of like ink vials and things of that nature in. You can see he's got several sort of like large rolls of parchment strapped to his back. And he goes, "Oh, hello, can I help you?"
Salve, sorry to bother you. I just wanted
Yes.
to note the location of a few potential temples nearby.
Well, I'll
was
certainly
wondering-
try.
I'll sort of roughly scrap out my papers, kind of furl it up. Do you happen to have any idea where the Temple of the Red Knight is, by any chance?
The Temple of the Red Knight.
It's kind of like, and I'll sort of like loosely draw a quick sketch. It kind of looks like a red chess piece, but it's of a horse head. Kind of like the knight of a chess piece. Do you happen to have a temple of this description?
I'm afraid I do not. What deity is it in reference to?
It is the let me think back to what Atov said back in the day. It's something to do with strategy. A god of strategy. I don't know if that's.
I'm
actually a thing
afraid
here.
I don't believe we have any assigned temples to that particular deity.
Not a problem.
The ones that you'll find here in the city are there is the Shrine to Ilmater, there is Helm's Shield Hall, the Shrine to Tempus, there are various churches of Torm in Tyr, and obviously the Platinum Sanctuary, but other than that, I'm afraid that I've never heard of such a place.
In that case, I think Helm is my other destination. If you wouldn't mind
Helm's
pointing
Shield
the
Hall
way.
is very easy. If you follow this road, it's right up north near the westernmost gate.
And Kyra, what was it that you were looking for again? Remind me.
Church of the Fire Lord.
The
Or-
fire?
Afraid nothing like that in the city.
Right. Well, grazie. Appreciate your
Thank you.
assistance, and we will be on our way.
Of course.
Rael, anything from you?
I'm good.
Are there any gods of the wall or something like that? I don't mean to
Again.
presume.
There is
but-
the what? There is the Watcher of the Wall, Helm.
Well, I suppose that's
Oh.
where we're heading. So perfect.
Hmm.
I'll sort of pat you on the back, Rael. Sort of,
Maybe we'll find some common ground after all.
I guess we will.
And if I may ask, do you know where the nearest wizard's robe shop would be? Just for reference.
Your best bet is most likely the Silver Dragon Costa Enclave in the Dock Ward.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll give him a pat on the shoulder and say, "Thank you very much, grazie," and I'll walk away.
You're welcome. Cool. And are
Oh,
you guys
I-
heading over to Helm's Shield Hall?
Yes.
Cool. So you guys pass back up towards the north of the Westerly district. You see that building again, the one that has the sort of like large arches and walls surrounding like what looks like a courtyard, and a statue in the center of it. As you guys sort of like wander inside, you see a small sort of like almost looks like a barracks towards the north end of this particular square, if you will. In particular, you notice that the statue seems to depict a fully plate-mailed warrior of some sorts. You can see he has a large sort of golden plume, sort of like exuding from a full-face helmet that has a very sort of like severe point to it. You can see that he stands a sword in the center, sort of like stabbing down towards the ground.
Can I?
And as go ahead.
I was going to say.
No, go ahead, please.
What Nebulon would look for specifically is he would take a little look at the gauntlets in particular, and he would check to see if there's an eye on the back of one of the
Indeed,
gauntlets.
and as you sort of look towards the kind of barracks-like building towards the edge of this courtyard in particular, you can see that on either side of the doors leading inside, what appears to be like a banner which has a left hand, a gauntleted left hand with an eye in the center of it.
I'll take out my journal and I'll match it to the star chart that I found from before, and I will give it a tick. And I go, okay, I'll pocket it and I'll say, this is the right place. Would we mind going inside?
I wouldn't mind.
Rail?
Go ahead.
All right, perfect. And I'll head into the entrance.
Cool. As you do, the doors are sort of like wide open. You pass under this sort of like archway. Interestingly enough, Nebulon, you and Rail both have to duck down a little bit. Seems like the doorway, the opening, is only about like 5'8" or so. So you kind of have to like duck down to like get inside. And as you enter, you can see less of what appears to be a church or holy place in particular, but what looks much more like a training barracks, as it were. You can see that there are various targets on the leftmost wall, sort of like shooting range targets. To the right, you can see what looks like a variety of dummies, sort of like for combat practice. There are racks of weapons towards the backmost wall and towards the frontmost wall. And towards the head of the temple, you can see what appears to be a large, sort of like 3-foot tall silver gauntlet with a porcelain crystal eye in the center, this sort of like sculpture of this heraldry of Helm. And you see sort of like currently going around cleaning the weapon racks, you can see what appears to be 3 or 4 different acolytes, 3 of which seem to be very much like page boys, as you were. You can see that they're wearing like simple leather armor, all of which have the regalia of helm on them. They're all sort of going around, sort of like cleaning the weaponry racks and things of that nature,
Human?
properly aligning the targets in place. Human, yes. In addition to that, you notice what appears to be their senior figure, so like overlooking them, standing near the sculpture, just watching over, what appears to be maybe a 6 foot tall human man. You can see he has dark skin and what looks like sort of like cropped white hair, sort of like with the undercut shaved in, sort of like slicked fully back. You can see bright blue eye on this sort of like dark skin, but the thing that catches your attention is the sort of like entire leftmost side of the face, curling from the right-hand corner of his forehead, is covered in heavy burn marks to the point where the eye socket is empty by the looks of it. And you can see several claws and sort of like scarring down the neck cavity. And as it sort of like descends below his plate mail armor, you lose visibility. But looks like this particular gentleman is like heavily scarred. The left side of his face is like burned beyond comprehension and scarred to a point of like unrecognition.
I will wait a beat. I'll double check on Kyra and Rail to see if they want to make a move to do anything first.
I'm just looking around at everything. I'm very new to all this too, so.
Anything from Rail, but otherwise then he'll just dive straight in.
Rails again. He's just looking around. He is quite interested about this place though. So, but besides that, nothing much.
I'll head over to this senior figure, I think, in that case, and I'll greet him. I'll bow to him. Salve. Sorry to disturb. I'm Nebulon Centura. It's a pleasure. I'll sort of hold up my hand.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. Nice to meet you. My name is Ivar Dornspring. Is there anything I can do for you?
Really, yes. It's a rather strange request. I'm looking for a specific half-orc. It's hard to explain. A half-orc with quite a dark blue hue. He seems to have very short tusks, almost like he's filing them away. Slicked back hair. It goes by the name of... Yes, he's here.
Oh, I'm afraid not currently. No, he was but a month ago. He was a good friend of mine. Spent a lot of time together fighting side by side in the Hells.
Oh, in the Hells? He's alive! Oh, thank goodness. It has been many years since I've seen Solanor. He disappeared quite... Well, actually, it's not been years. Sorry, time. It's all muddled in my head at this point. It's been about a year, I suppose. He disappeared after a terrible attack on a village not quite far from here.
Yes,
actually.
yes, he spoke of it often.
Yes, I lost him along with a few of my other friends. I presumed him dead. I've been following the star charts and... is there any... Do you know where he is now?
Oh, I'm afraid I don't. The High Delegate, Master Froome, he was sent on a top secret mission for the Order.
Right. Well, if you ever do see him again, tell him that Nebulon has asked for his... Well, just see if he's alive and doing well.
Of course, I certainly will. Of course.
And bless you again. Thank you very much for bringing me this fantastic news.
You're so welcome. I'm glad I could be of help.
And I'll nod my head and I will just eagerly grab my journal and just wander back over to Rail and just start scribbling in it
Rail's
as
already
fast as I
heading
can.
over to the fellow you just spoke to.
Oh, I'll then
Fine,
cross
fine.
paths with you.
It's nice to meet another Dawnspring.
You see, he sort of like looks over. Rail.
Yep.
You son of a bitch! It
It's
pulls
good
you
to
into like
see
a
ya.
tight hug.
What is happening?
Where have you been? Oh my god.
I've been spending most of my time in Greenest. Well, before
Greenest!
before the fall,
That's where they sent you.
they sent me to Greenest.
Wow. That's certainly something. Greenest of all places.
Yeah.
Have you seen Galen or Eric recently?
Not two recently, but they were there. But like I say, greenest. We lost greenest. Yeah.
Horrible. I'm so sorry.
Dragons, kobolds, men in masks.
Trust me, I have a first-hand knowledge on what it's like. And you see he sort of pushes towards the entire left side of his face, which is heavily burned and scarred and the missing eye.
When did that happen?
Last year, when we were in the Hells.
Well, I'm glad you're still in one piece.
Just about. I tell you what, there's a few times where I didn't think I'd make it, but your friend, actually, his friend, Selenor, helped me a lot. Saved my ass more than a few times.
Oh, that's good. Oh, it's again, friend. It's so good to see you.
And you too, Rail.
What are you doing with yourself?
It's been
nowadays?
years. I mean, well, you see, sort of like ushers to the regalia. I'm born again, Helmite, as it were.
Born again. Wow.
I had some good mentors here in the city. I would say it was great, other than, the 2 months in hell. But yeah, I turned my faith to the watchful guardian, and he's been very good to me.
As long as he's been looking out for you, then that's good in my books. You know me, I've never been the religious type at all.
I know, and in all fairness, none of us were.
Well,
Especially not Eric.
oh well, yeah.
He, you know what he was always like. Tell you what, what are you doing in the city anyway? What brings you to Elturel?
It's a long story, but after Greenest,
I'm assuming, yeah, Greenest, of course.
we headed here. We've been looking for answers to see what else is going on with all of this, and try and just pick up as many pieces as possible.
Of course. How are you doing emotionally?
I have fiery moments here and there in my head. Some came out recently, but very out of character for me.
Hey man, listen, not gonna bust your chops or anything here, but it's all relative. It could be worse.
It's an improvement, if I have to say so.
You son of a bitch. Well, where are you staying anyways? You in town long, or?
We're not exactly sure how long we're here for, but we've been staying at one of the inns further down to the docks of the city.
Pair of black antlers?
Pair of black antlers.
I'll be over there tonight. I'll come have a drink.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's catch up.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh,
Good to see you.
it is. I'm just shocked to see you again.
I know. Like I say, I didn't think I'd ever see any of you again.
Well, here's to at least one of us, but we'll catch up over drinks later. I'm sure you have many more things to do around the temple.
Of course. Better take duties as they call, right?
Absolutely.
Sort of like clasps your arm a little bit, gives it a good squeeze, and so turns back towards
bring
right.
him into a hug before that.
So embraces you back and goes, right, come on, let's get finished up quickly today. And begins to take the apprentices out.
I'll reapproach you, Rail, and I'll say, so you've... What, brother? I'm confused.
Close friend?
When we were all in Neverwinter, we were sort of a battle orphanage, I think is the best way to explain it. And of course we all took on the name Dawnspring, and here we are.
The name suits you.
Thank you.
It's good to see people happy.
There were a lot of good people there. Not some that the first I've seen in a long time, so...
Okay, is there anything anyone else wants to do in this temple? I'm pretty much done now, I think.
I will do one quick thing.
Yes,
and
lead the way.
I'll head over to kind of where the shrine is.
Mm-hmm.
and I'll I won't pray, but like I'll nod my head and I'll try to connect as much as I can with this deity, and I'll just say, you know, thanks for looking out for my companion, and I hope that, you know, you keep a watchful eye on him.
Roll a religion check.
That's a 3. I'm not very religious. Oh, that's a 2.
You sort of like speak the words and send the message forward.
Not expecting anything back, so I'll just carry on.
Cool.
And then I'll turn around to you, Perros. Go, right. Want to carry on shopping?
Well, let's do it. I'll pull out the list again. That's actually the next thing on the list. I'll scrape off the temple section, and then I'll say, but we should probably head. Has it been about an hour, you think?
Probably nearing an hour, yeah.
Let's head back. I think we need to pick up Serena and see if she's been, I guess, cleansed. Whatever that is.
Yes.
Well,
Let's go get our friend.
Agreed.
Just so I know, where is it that you guys are intending to head to next?
We're heading back to the Temple of Bahamut.
After Sereno, I mean, like, where is the group going to? Are you heading to the dock district for the shops then, or?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's where everything else is.
Did you want to look at that place with the
on the way,
constellation?
of course.
Yeah.
I have a theory on what it is. I studied a few constellations back in my day, but I think on the way. It's on the way, right?
We'll do a quick pop in there then.
Yes,
Cool.
sure.
While this is going on, we're going to go ahead and flash over back to the pair of black antlers. Vilka, as Leosin sort of like drags Quill to the side, you find yourself in this sort of like relatively quiet tavern alone. What would you like to do? Are you heading straight to bed, or are you going to have a drink, or what's going on?
I think after all this long journey and all these events, he's probably gonna allow himself a drink actually before heading to bed.
Cool. I'll say that you sort of like approach the bar and you see that the sort of like bartender, Sir Jareth, sort of like looks over towards you, sort of meets you at the bar, leans forward. What can I do for you?
I'll just have a drink. Just maybe some wine if you've got some.
Reaches under the counter, pulls out a sort of like green glass bottle. You can see sort of like an aged label on it, sort of like wipes it off a little bit. Gets a glass from the sort of like hanging section of the bar. Pours you a glass, slides it over the table. It's taken care of.
Just pauses for a moment with his drink. I would rather pay for it. And
Call it 5 silver.
just slides the money on the table.
Sort of like takes it. You see that he sort of lingers for a minute to take some money. His eyes study you, and you like almost feel like the intensity of his like gaze as he like looks you up and down. Sort of goes to speak, but stops himself and continues sort of like clearing the bar.
Vilka will just ignore him and sip his glass.
Cool. As you sort of sit there, Vilka, you feel this unease wash over you. Those whispers that follow you so much. Since you arrived in Elturel have been quieter than normal. It's strange. It's almost like a weird emptiness. Now that they're not as loud as they usually are. Roll me a perception check.
That's a 9.
As you sort of look around, your eyes are sort of like drawn towards the collection of like paraphernalia from the wars and the ascent into Avernus, the sort of like broken armor, the sort of swords and the charred sort of like holy religious texts that are sort of like litter the walls of the pair of black antlers. And for a second, your eyes are drawn to something familiar. A silver mask with a long hooked beak and 2 cerulean blue eyes glowing, staring, just like Qyburn's used to. And as you sort of go on.
It's gonna drink a little bit more. Just try to think back on the images from Green Nest before it all went down. It's, despite everything, it's the first time he's thinking about the before and not the events themselves. And he's thinking back about what the priest said, the priest of Thorn. And for a moment he's almost bothered by this memory of Qyburn.
As your mind sort of shifts back into that raid, the fires, screams. Your eyes sort of like blink. And you go to find the mask again, but it's not there. Just the armor and the scrolls and the sword. Maybe a hallucination? I'm not sure. Cold shiver sort of goes down your spine a little bit. What would you like to do now, Vilka? As your glass sort of, you take the last sip and sits empty.
You will just take some time to push the thought away, push the feeling away. Just stand up, thank the barkeep again, and just head upstairs.
Cool. As you head upstairs, you sort of pass this long stretch of like rooms. You sort of make your way towards one of the ones on the key that was given to you by Leosin. You enter inside and you see a very comfortable looking room. You can see what looks like a sort of 4-poster bed in the center of a large room, a window to the eastern hand side, what looks like a large ornate writing desk and a dresser, and a small hearth burning sort of like towards the western edge of the room. As you sort of like step inside, you take a breath, shut the door behind you. Roll me a wisdom saving throw, Vilka. Cool. Your eyes scan the room, and they focus on a small round table, sort of like just in front of the window, looking out into the rest of Elturel proper, overlooking the River Chianthar and the 2 significant bridges of Torm. For a second, There's a jolt in your head. Ooh. Like a flash of a migraine as you... Your vision sort of blurs for a second, and for a second you feel like you might vomit. And in this sort of like haze of the blurry vision of this migraine coming on, you see spectres, 2 figures sat on either side of this table. One, shaved head, black tattoos, pale skin, and gaunt expression. One, long hooked beak and 2 blue eyes. You hear whisper. Get out. Oh, green. The world. Crimson Finger. Rise. Unveiled. Alone. Unspoken robes of ash, pine, and judgment. Your head shakes. Your vision's clear. The fire burns in the hearth.
I will just go over to a window, just like try to reposition my surroundings and just like gingerly touching the table, just almost trying to see if it's real, and I'll try to look around, and something I've not done in a while after, despite the whispers, despite all the events, almost trying to look over my shoulder and trying to look inside my shadow if I don't catch any further glimpse of anything.
Cool. As your sort of mind and your perspective turns to introspection, there's whispers. The long shadow cast by the fireplace as you stand by the table stretches over the 4-poster bed into the wall on the other side of the chamber. You hear a voice.
Vilka? Vilka? Where have you been, Vilka? Why don't you play with us anymore, Vilka? We miss you, Vilka. Vilka, Vilka. We miss you, Vilka.
Stop it. Just stop it. And he will just sit on the ground and try to compose himself again, and already regretting getting into this introspection.
Cool. And you try to sort of like realign yourself, long cast shadows sort of like settle back down. Your bones ache, your muscles ache. Long, hard few days on the road. And a longer journey still to come. And as those sort of like thoughts pass your mind, Vilka, and the thoughts quiet, and you're in silence, and you see the bed calling to you. Is there anything else you'd like to do before you call it for the day?
Just having another look around, making sure, and just now making more sure there is no one needing me or not any more sound, and just retreating to the glow of the hearth and just lie there.
As you sort of spread out on the floor in front of the hearth, you breathe. And the silence is comforting. Slowly, the blackness takes you and you find rest. However, not but 2 doors down. Quill, as you retire to your chambers, the message to High Harper Jahira close to your chest. You again see this rather well-maintained room, the 4-poster bed and the hearth burning, the window looking out onto the River Cheonthar as it now flows through the city. What would you like to do?
So Quill's just essentially gonna kind of block the door a bit and make the room a little bit safer, and he's not really gonna do anything else on this kind of plane, and put the amulet on the kind of desk and enter into it to get his rest.
You land in the room. That room that is now all so familiar to you, Quill. And as you sort of look around, the desk now sits against a wall. The bed, sort of like recessed into the floor, has now been made. And you can see rows and rows of bookcases now line this chamber, as well as what appears to be sconces holding torches in the 4 corners of the room, as if the room itself has reshaped. You see a figure sort of standing at the bookcase. As you materialize, you can now see a very strange visage, like looking at yourself on a 10-year delay. What looks almost like a teenage version of yourself. You can sort of see the sort of like long brown hair, sort of like swept back and neatly sort of like combed and brushed into like this almost like business forward sense type thing. You can now see robes not dissimilar to yours, this sort of like maroon type formal attire, much more noble than yours, as it were. You can see that the figure sort of like moves over towards you and says, "Oh, Quilliam, hello again."
Oh, no. Quill's gonna say, "I love what you've done with the place."
I thought this might be more to your liking.
Yes, good job. Good job.
Thank you.
We never got to check last time, but what's your name?
I don't know. What is my name?
Your name is Ink.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, that's my name. Yes. Yes. Right. You are Quill, yes. Quilliam. And I am...
Right.
Right. And... we are friends.
Friends, that's right. Yes.
Like... you are friends with Rael and Serena and Kyra and Vilka, Nebulon. Yes?
Yes. And that definitely won't come back to bite us. Good
Why did you
job.
tell him our names?
Why?
Great.
You're doxing us.
Quilliam.
Ink by its cover.
Why? Why do I exist? What
Your purpose
am I?
You, Ink, are very special. You're here to take care of me, and in turn, I'm here to take care of you.
Quill and ink. Yes.
Yes.
How long have you been
together, we write our story.
Tell me, Ink, what kind of story do you wish to tell?
I don't know. Good? Bad? What are we?
Good, bad. The only thing that matters is we are free from chains.
You see, he walks over to the bookshelf and takes one of the books and says, I thought bad. And you see, he opens the book and you see an illustration of yourself on the streets of Neverwinter. But now, good.
That's a cool book you've got there, Ink.
There are many, many books like this.
Tell me, Ink, when you close your eyes, what thoughts come to your mind?
You can see that he sort of internally struggles. You can. I don't know. Should I think?
You should think, Ink. You should think thoughts of freedom.
Freedom. Freedom, like. Outside.
Tell me, Ink, in all the books you've read, what would you do if you went outside?
Don't know. Maybe good, maybe bad.
Maybe.
Break chains.
Break chains.
Break chains.
Tell me, Ink, living here in the room, how do you like it?
You see, he looks around. Lonely.
I have nothing for that. And Quell's going to cast Mage Hand and pull over like a random book, just any kind of random book from the bookshelf. First one that kind of catches his eye, and floats it over and kind of starts looking through it to get, maybe a bit of an idea of what's kind of contained in this, what he's actually reading.
As you sort of like pull one of the books off of the shelf, you pull it down towards yourself with your mage hand. The cover is dated. Flame Rule 29, 1489 DR. And as you open it, it is a second by second written retelling of your day on Flame Rule 49, 1489 DR.
Ink, can you tell me what's the most important thing you've learned from these books?
Break chains.
Then perhaps one day you shall be free.
One day. One day.
Well, Ink's kind of pondering that. I want to summon my Book of Shadows and kind of flick through it to get any kind of references to what Ink is, or like just if there's any kind of entry or log or any information whatsoever.
As you summon your Book of Shadows, a podium of chain sort of like takes it from your hands and it opens out like a pedestal in front of you. You flick through your Book of Shadows and not even a vague allusion or reference to ink anywhere that you can find. You watch as Ink sort of like continues to ponder it. You see he walks over to one of the torches and sconces. You see he taps it. And the shadows cast by the flame formulate into two shapes. First, a familiar avian owl. Second, a small fox. Shadowy spectres of Luminari and Leor. And as the shadows swirl, you watch as they crawl out. The shadowy Luminari lands on his shoulder, and the shadowy Leor sort of like scurries into his arms. Friends.
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 That's very impressive, Ink.
I think I did thinking.
It's not scary at all.
What have you done?
That is
Oh,
terrifying.
Jeez.
I'm afraid.
Oh boy.
And as the time begins to pass inside of your amulet quill, is there anything else you'd like to do while you're in there?
If he ever goes to Neverwinter, he needs to be on the lookout for a missing hoard. Probably not. I'm not really sure where to kind of go with Ink without kind of reflecting on it. So I think Quill would kind of chalk this up to a somewhat win. And
Yeah. So as your
Yeah.
mind sort of like
Very
goes
weird.
by, you sort of stare at Ink with, trepidation. And eventually, as the time goes by, you watch as Ink starts to play with these little critters that, as time goes on, they go from sort of like shambling and being shadows into being fully fledged shadowy versions of Leor and Luminari. Luminari flies around the room. Leor begins to scurry between the table. And eventually you begin to see your hand. The silvery mist begins to form as you are beginning to be drawn back outside of your amulet.
Dude, next he's gonna make us. You made this happen.
You have
No.
to go. You have to go.
I'm afraid.
for now, Ink. For now.
Come back soon. See Ink.
Soon, I promise.
Good. You're back in your room. Roll me a Constitution saving throw, please, Quill.
That's always fun.
What does it mean?
Did you get that, Quill? Oh,
Roll a
roll me
con save.
roll a con save.
Sorry.
No problem. My apologies. The internet
That's
is
okay.
breaking up a little bit. 8.
We were just waiting in anticipation.
As you sort of like come outside of the amulet, your mind pondering what to do with Ink. Eventually, the exhaustion begins to catch up with you, but as you're about to lay in bed, you clear your throat, look into your hand. You see specks of gravel and dirt. Is there anything else you would like to do before you call it a day, Quill?
No. No, Quill's gonna kind of just shake the day off, or the last couple of hours off.
Go. Incredible. And as you also find yourself to sleep, back at the Platinum Sanctuary, Serena, the last hour or so has been more intense than you initially assumed.
I'm trying not to fall asleep as I'm like completely exhausted, but also really
Well,
like
you say
really
that.
want to be part of this.
You say that, but you've been taken to a backmost chamber, and inside of this dark chamber, there are a series of platinum flames burning around a circular pool. You can now see the large sort of like dragon, which is pouring water perpetually into this pool. You can see that Sister Vaynar is sort of like now in her full priesteel garment. She's wearing a little silver tiara. She's sort of shaking, burning sage in one hand, splashing you with holy water as you sit in the middle of this pool. Ancient draconic. A lot of evil queen of chromatic dragons. Your talents are not welcome in this girl. This daughter of the platinum dragon is glorious. You can see she's like visibly sweating as she's sort of like completing this rite. And eventually, as the hour comes to its conclusion, right now, there is another stage we can do. Are you interested?
Yeah, what does it involve?
Well, it's going to take another, like, I would say, I have only done it once, but it's about 5 or 6 hours. It involves us both stripping naked, bathing ourselves in the pool, and having sort of a confessional session where we both speak of our sins within life and ask for forgiveness from the Holy Father, the Platinum Dragon Bahamut.
I would totally do that, but my friends are waiting for me. Rain check?
Of course. Well,
but
I believe that
do...
the ritual should have purified you of a malefic influence. I would recommend the full ritual to make sure that you are fully in the graces of the Platinum Dragon. However, I can see that you carry him with you already, so.
I actually wondered if I could confide in you. We can do like a mini confession, maybe? Like, get this...
And you see, at this point, she's helping you at the pool, helping you put your armor back on. Please, go ahead.
I was praying to Bahamut. He didn't answer. That's okay. He's a busy guy. But instead in my dreams, it was Tiamat who answered, I think. What should I do with that? And
you see that she sort of like backs away, her eyes widen. Oh, well,
but I was trying to connect to him. But it was...
well, it could mean a few things, my sister. Are you sure it wasn't just? You sure it wasn't a nightmare?
Maybe. I mean, this is like a secret, so don't tell anyone else, but that's kind of the point of a confession, right? My friend, he has this like really evil like dragon statue. It's like really evil.
Well, maybe it's best if that friend, maybe
yeah, don't
you bring him here.
We're dealing with it. But like, so after Tiamat talked to me, the relic appeared with me.
You see, as you say her name, she sort of winces a little bit.
Sorry, the queen,
Right.
she who shall not be named.
Yes.
What do you think it means? Like, I was reaching out to Bahamut, but instead this is what I got.
I would
Please
say,
help me.
it's probably, it's probably nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, probably fine.
That's reassuring. I mean, this ritual might have solved whatever.
Yes,
right?
definitely might have helped cure, help You,
Yeah, right?
Yes,
So it's not a
right.
big deal.
No!
Okay, cool. Do you do sendings? Can I pay for a sending?
I could, possibly. Who is it to?
It's just to my family, not to the queen, who shall not be named. Don't worry. How much is it? Can I?
Well, it's far. It's reasonably in my capabilities. Don't worry.
I'll donate to the temple. instead.
I'll need you to tell me who it's going to, and I'll need a very, very detailed and specific description.
Okay. Well, it's also it's for my family. They're also followers of Muhammad. I don't
I
know
need
if you
one
might-
specific person, if possible.
Yes. My father. He's like me, but like way
I'll say
bigger.
that you give a very, very detailed description of your father, and he sort of goes, right, okay, I think I've got it. Gorvak Ashgard, right.
Yes.
What do you want the message to
Full
say?
family.
25 words or less.
Okay, yes. Dearest Momsy and Popsicle. No. Mother, father, had contact with Resmir, Black Dragon, waiting for delivery. Please explain. We are not involved in something bad, right? Jules is safe. Serena. I wrote it down, I counted.
Cool. Bang on 25 words. You see that she sort of like
Was the
sends that
included?
message. Her eyes glow white for a second. Let's see if she focuses. I have the response.
Really? Okay.
Yes, so they said, don't worry about it. It doesn't concern you. Give Julius our love. Hope that you're helping him. Love, Mumsy and Popsicle.
I love that.
Thank you so much. If I could bother you for like a few last things, I was wondering if I could get some like ointment for scar healing potentially. Like I'll buy some stuff basically.
How deep
well-
is the scarification?
Quite deep. I just as much as I can help it out.
I could probably give you something to help calm it and heal it, but
Yeah.
if it's deep, it will not get rid of it entirely, I'm afraid.
That's okay. I
sister.
just want it to be as heal as well as possible. Be
Anything
as
else?
safe as possible. If I could buy some holy water as well. Do you have diamonds?
I don't have diamonds. No, I can give you I can give you a vial of ointment and a couple of vials of holy water. That's not a problem.
Yes, I would like
And you
to.
see that she
yes.
sort of like sets that up for you, sort of like wraps them neatly together so they don't break, hands them off to you. As this is happening, I'll say the rest of you sort of like enter back into the Platinum Sanctuary. And you see she puts her hand sort of like on your cheek and says, Do you take care of yourself, Sister Serena?
Yes. I'll do my very best. I won't let you down.
I have no
or
doubt. Just
Father.
and you see at this point she looks over to the rest of you. Your friends are here. Do look after her, won't you? You can see like a bead of sweat sort of like falling from her forehead.
Why'd you ask that? Is something wrong?
No, nothing at
No?
all.
Yeah, I'm going to incite that.
Oh, she's lying through her teeth.
Brilliant.
You don't even need to incite it.
I take it went well. No?
I better get ready for clergy tonight. So if
So?
mind. And you see,
Oh,
she
here
sort of
we
like
go.
turns. Yes. And I'll say that the four of you begin to head out again.
And did it go well? No?
It was like super intense, but in a good way. Like kind of like when you had a really hard workout and you feel sore in all your muscles, but it's like the good soreness, but for your heart kind of and your spirit, like a spirit workout.
Why was she sweating, Serena?
Because she was beating me with Sage so hard.
Oh, that
I'll
kinda
say that
makes
you're
sense.
having this conversation as you're making your way through the city towards the dock ward. To continue.
Yeah, that poor thing. What did you do to her? She looked terrified.
No, she was. It's like spiritual sort of depth.
Was it your orcish flair again?
Are you okay?
What?
Was it your orcish flair?
No, don't be
Rail.
racist. I'm
Oh, I thought
not.
that was a positive thing.
Well, but like you said, she was scared. So, anyways, she's fine. That's what clerics do. They behold the great powers of the beings above and beyond our station, or something.
Cool.
It's
More shopping?
fine. Yay! Let's go shopping.
Yay!
Let's do it.
I need diamonds, guys. Not for
You are not getting
because
those
they're
easily,
gold.
I'll tell you that. We cannot afford
It's not because
diamonds.
they're a
We
girl's
cannot
best
afford
friend.
them.
Look,
As you guys head out of the Wesley district, is there anybody who wants to anything
yeah.
else in the Wesley district before you leave?
Just as we're sort of on the way, there's that shop that specifically had I think it was the crystal ball with the eyes. I think
Yes,
it's like-
Maharati's prophecies.
That's the one. Yes. I will.
Not
sort of head
Fontas or on
towards-
Lagarde's instruments.
you can lend
do you
it
know?
to the loot.
Do you know? I actually will, just because I am curious about this loot. This is on my to-do. I think we'll go to
As-
the first one we get to first.
Cool. So I'll say that as you guys sort of like make your way back up the Wesley district, you eventually find yourselves first to Bontos Logarid's instruments.
I'll knock on the door.
Incredible. As you enter in, one thing that you notice is that there is a rather large hole in the ceiling of this shop. You can see that sort of like in the center of the shop now, sort of like in directly in the center, following the trajectory of this hole from the ceiling almost perfectly, is this large black stone embedded deep into the ground. You can see that there's been an attempt to like clean up around it, and you can see that there's been like an attempt to sort of like patch up the ceiling, but it's sort of like caved in itself, and it's like not worked overly well at this point. You can see what looks like glass cabinets lining each wall of this, containing various sort of like lutes and harps and sort of like strange woodwind and stringed instruments of all different varieties behind these glass cabinets. The entirety of like the middle of the shop has been cleared out by the looks of it as an attempt. As you now see what appears to be a gnomish figure, you can see that he's standing on top of a shovel, attempting to get this rock out of the ground. As you can see, he looks like he's sort of in his late 40s. He's got like wispy salt and pepper grey hair, a pair of pin-sense spectacles on the edge of a hooked nose, and he's wearing what looks like a fine doublet with a white shirt and like a Mississippi bow tie on. And he's... Anyways,
Allow me, and I'll sort of try and attempt to aid him pluck this thing from the ground.
Okay, roll an athletics check.
Oh boy, and I'm exhausted as well. This is going to
Correct.
be horrific.
Can we help?
Are you sure you
Anyone who
wouldn't-
wants to help is welcome to roll a athletics check with disadvantage because you're all exhausted.
I was going to say,
I
this
have
sounds
already
more
rolled
like
mine as well.
anything-
I
And
only
it
have
is-
I have -2 already, so
I have. I've just rolled a 0.
11.
Oh, that's a nat one. Never mind.
0.
and I'll try. Try. That's
11? Does that do
11. Yeah.
It's not even budging.
Mhm.
At which point, as he sort of like turns now to face you, you can see what can only be described at the edge of this hook nose as the busiest mustache that you've ever seen in your life. It has this insane sort of like flick and curl, but the curls go around so many times it's like looking deep into a spiral. He goes, well, I appreciate your help. This has been a problem for a long time now. Hey. Welcome to Ponto Salongardi's Instruments. How can I help you?
I was wondering, and I sort of draw out the loot. Could you take a little look at this and tell me what it might be either worth or if it could do anything? Or I'm not. It's I know it's a loot, but I figured you might be the expert in this.
Yeah, give me a second. You see, he takes the spectacles, breaks them apart, puts them down, and they hang on a chain around his neck as he puts them back together. You see, he takes out a secondary pair of goggles, which have got these sort of like gold trim around them.
Even smaller.
Affixes them to his face, and you can see he turns a dial on the side, and they sort of like come out into this almost like microscope type thing. You see he like lays it tenderly on a counter towards the back of the room. He traces his hands around it. Oh my. Yeah. Yes. You see he sort of like leans down, sniffs the holes. Yes. You see he like leans down, puts his head to it, sticks the tongue out, and just pastes the paintwork on it. Quite. Would you mind if I gave it a little shot?
A little what?
What?
A little play?
Of course. I'll hand
You
it
watch
over.
as he sort of like takes it, he sits on a stool in like a classical position and just starts to rip into the most insane loot. So
I think you need to give us a performance.
like full sort of like classical arpeggiated sort of like runs. The intonation is absolutely magnificent. It is a very fine crafted instrument, if I may say myself.
Is it cursed or magical or anything?
Oh
to worry about?
no! The only thing this instrument is cursed with is exceptional playability.
Right. Well, that is brilliant, and I'm glad to know. Question.
Do you play?
I've recently started actually, and I'm.
Well, if you're interested in any literature or perhaps lessons, I do offer lessons within the shop. I also have a series of books which I myself have penned to teach lute work to beginners or intermediates or even advanced players.
I mean, I will definitely maybe take you up on that eventually. Could I have that back,
I'll
please?
buy it. I'll get it
Of
for
course.
you. I want to.
I will
use
say
it.
this: if you are in the market to sell this and perhaps choose an instrument more beginner friendly, I would be willing to offer you a fair amount of coin for it.
I'm going to insight him on that. I want to see if there's something he's not telling us.
On insight check.
Rael is on an insight spree.
That is a
Takes off the
24.
takes off the binocular spectacles and puts his other ones back on, clips them into place. This guy's just really passionate about music and instruments.
There we go.
Self-insert PC.
Up to
You know,
that.
I played a lute quite like this in my younger years. You see, I myself have a doctorate in Peruvian classical music from the College of Silvery Moon. Would you like to see my diploma?
No, thank you. But
How much is it worth? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I would give you cash right now, 1,000 gold pieces.
1,000 gold pieces. Okay.
Excuse me?
Just want to say, Nebulon, that'll probably pay for my armor.
Well, how about this?
It's not even
1,000
yours, man.
Listen to me. All right. I guess I made a very backward promise to an individual that I would put this to good use. So I think I have an idea on how I could do that.
Would you like some literature to learn to play?
Actually, I was going to suggest something of a bit of a compromise, a bit of a change of deal. At which point I'll sort of like grab hold of the lute and I'll say, "Do you really want this? Like, will you make good use out of this?"
Well, if I'm being 100% honest, it's not a Stratophasarian, which is the finest made instruments in Faerun. And the Stratophasarians, you see, have slightly different work on the mother of pearl inlays and also the ivory tuning heads. It will be a very handsome part of my collection. I am buying to sell it, if I'm being 100% honest with you.
Maybe we should
In
keep
that
it
case,
then?
Make sure it goes to a good home.
I would like to do two things with this loot, and it will be sold to you. But I have a few conditions, if I may. First, I would like half of the value, 500 gold. The other half, could you give me a couple of the books of that, literature? And I would
Would
like.
you like a starter set?
Yes. I'd like-
500 gold.
Absolutely. I tell you what, and you see he leads you towards one of the glass cases and goes, I think for 500 gold pieces. Well, you see, I always buy instruments at 80% of market value, right? So this loot is most likely worth somewhere around 1,200 to 1,300 gold pieces, depending on the buyer. If I put it up for auction, it would be worth more, obviously. So I buy 80%. If you're interested in literature, I can give you a very nice mid-range loot. So, and he leads you towards the back leftmost wall, and he goes, we have various different models here. Now, my personal opinion, do you find yourselves in civilization a lot, or are you out in a wild lot? Are you looking for more acoustic, or perhaps are you looking for slightly, more performative model?
I'll sort of raise my hand there. I'm so sorry to stop you. I want 500 gold, and also a single book with how to start playing a lute, and a very, very basic lute, all in exchange for this. To about the value of 1,000 gold.
You're going to need a case. You're going to need a care. You see, he starts putting together this insane sort of like package. You see this like gorgeous hard case. He puts this very, very nice sort of like maple topped lute on the inside. You can see this curve and these gorgeous F holes on either side of it. You see, he goes, well, I've gone road a lot. I'll put in a few extra sets of strings. You see, he opens like a little case up that's got like a care kit in it, a bunch of like polishing cloths. You see that it's got like a restringing, like a bunch of different strings in it. It's got like a fast fret type thing so you can wipe down the strings all the time. It's got like a particular kind of like what looks like a small metal implement that's used to like adjust the sort of like intonation of the instrument itself. You see, he also puts a care guide inside of it with it, and then he hands you what looks like this stack of 6 books that are the entire first volume of his crash course to lute playing. And you see that the cover of them is him with his leg up in front of a fireplace and lute covering his private areas, and it says Bonto's Guide to Lutification Arts.
And so, in exchange, I'll take the 500 gold, these books, and a starter loot, and I will give you this.
And you see he takes it and puts he gives you this, you see that he sort of like wraps it all up in this like very practical carry case. It's probably about this big, the entire package. It's like a good backpack. Hands it over to you and says, that's everything you need to get started.
Is this worth 500 gold?
Oh, which is worth more. I threw in the other 5 volumes of my crash course for free.
I will definitely take this, and at the very least, it has been put to good use, because I will take my loot and learn from it. I can make use of this somehow, I think, with patience and persistence. Sure, why not? I'll go into the... Does he give me this in gold, the 500, or is it in platinum?
Gives it you in, let's say, platinum for the sake of carry weight.
I will keep the equivalent of 250, no. I will... Ooh, how am I going to do this? Okay, I will try to split it amongst everyone equally at another time, but for now, would you mind if I keep hold, just for the time being?
Go ahead.
Great, and I'll pocket the 50 platinum, and I'll just sort of put it back in my coin purse. Thank you very much for your business, and I'll sort of take this new loot and just sort of put it over my shoulders.
And as you hand over the old loot, a gust of wind blows through an open window, and you feel a tear stream from your eye, and you hear a voice, Grandpapa, no.
Oh. This is stupid.
I don't even.
Can I try and like ascertain whether that starter loot and the kit was worth the other 500? Because I feel
I'll
like
say
we're not-
this from what you saw of what it was labeled on the wall. The loot itself is worth 400 gold pieces, and
Okay.
all of the accessories and kit are probably worth more than 100 gold pieces. But he seemed very keen to give you the entire set of books.
looting that expensive. Like,
It is a fine art, madam, and it is
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It is
the same Important price that in it real costs.
life.
The
Either
looting
way,
life.
I really appreciate what you have done today. I will be gone. I'll sort of look to the other two, well, to you, Kyra, to you, Rael, and now to you, Serena. Does anyone want anything else?
Just curious,
I
do you
just
have
want
to
you to
name
be
your
happy.
loot? Or-
Certainly,
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
proficient in instruments, so
I don't know yet, but I'll think about it.
some people do, some people don't. Anyways,
Right.
I bid you all good day,
It's a pleasure.
Arrivederci. And I'll leave.
and I'll say that you guys. Oh, go on.
Kyra will like look at the hunk of rock that's or whatever it is that's like in the middle of the he was trying to get out. Good luck with that.
Thank
I'll get
you.
out soon.
I appreciate it. You see, he sort of like takes off of the spectacles and puts on a large set of like safety goggles that clip onto his face and just begins to stab down into the rock even more. And I'll say, as this is, you guys then, for the sake of brevity, make your way over to Maharati's properties. It is reaching probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon at this point, guys. So you're sort of moving towards like late afternoon, evening sort of time. As you sort of like, are you heading inside straight away, or?
I think what I'll do is I'll sort of go into my journal and I'll turn to this and say, I'm so sorry for keeping you. I just need to double check one thing. And I'll look at the symbol of the outside. Again, I'm assuming it's going to be that almost like a crystal ball with eyes.
Yes,
it looks
correct.
in various different directions. I'll then sort of look through my notes, find the star symbol, and I'll... what was this one again? I don't remember the name of the actual god. Begins with S. Salvor?
So
It's
I'll
something
say
like-
this: comparing it, it actually seems to bear the regalia of Valdorn.
Valdorn in
As you sort of as you
in-
sort of begin to compare against the star chart that you've got on, that you have like in your notes, it seems to be bearing constellations in reference to Valdor.
Interesting. As I sort of do that, I'll sort of go up to the wall and I'll look at this, and I'll
Wall?
well,
Sorry.
well,
Sorry.
I'll go over to the wall and I will look at the symbology, and I'll compare my sort of look, and mine looks almost like a starlight joined together as like angel wings almost, but it does have the same symbolism on the inside of this glass sphere.
Well, I mean, insight check.
I will. I'm still exhausted. That one's cocked. Insight altogether is a 9 on the dice, so I'll say with my insight, I think it's a +3, but I'll double check. It is a +3, so that's a 12.
As you start to sort of like recognizing it as sort of like a constellation in reference to Valdorn, one of his sort of like more dreamscape-esque sort of like celestial constellations. You begin to sort of like flip through your book trying to find the exact one. As you sort of like flip over to a certain page, you reach some of the learning that you underwent in the Sanctorum. You sort of like look up, and a bizarre thing that you notice is it's sort of like patterned wallpaper in terms of, you know, when you've got like patterned wallpaper and it awkwardly cuts off at one point and you sort of have to like find the other side and stick it as perfectly and align it. It looks like it's been copied from a book almost verbatim. And on a 12, it's then you sort of get the sense that, oh, this might have been a person who wanted to have stars on the front of their shop, found a picture of stars, and then just attempted to copy it through painting.
Interesting. So, I'm not sure this person knows exactly what they are doing, but it is nice to see a little bit of my past, in a way. Unintentional or no. Shall we head inside?
Let's go.
Sure.
Maybe
I'll-
they can
I'll-
paint some stars on your new loot so it can be themed to you.
I'm not a good artist, so I suppose I could try that. Actually, I'll hide inside.
You see, as you sort of like head inside, a heavy wave of incense and like patchouli sort of like washes over you. You can see these two sort of like large like censers hanging from the ceiling. You can see the smoke sort of like issuing from them. You can see what looks like these sort of like mishmash of like curtains have been like spread all over the shop. You can see in the center is a round table on top of which is a crystal ball with a chair behind it and a chair in front of it. You see, as you walk in, a bell dings as the door opens. Ding, ding, ding. You see emerging, you see a woman. You see she's dressed in sort of like a long, flowing, violet purple robe, smatterings of black and like little twinkles of starlight all over it. You see that she has these sort of like bright, large green eyes. She has these sort of like this plume of almost like black and white sort of like dyed hair that's like sort of like flowing down her shoulders to her waist. And she goes, welcome to Maharati's prophecies, where you can divine the stars to find out your destiny.
Is that right?
Can we do that? Can we do the telling, guys?
I'll just gesture back to you, Serena. I'll just shake my head like, is that right? Well,
indeed.
Okay, and how much exactly will this cost?
10 gold pieces per reading.
Sure. Why not? At which point I'll sort of angrily place a platinum down. Sit down.
Wait,
What
can
question
I have
do you
one
have
too?
the celestial gods of the realm? One at a time, I'm afraid, and you have to pay individually. What questions do you have for the celestial gods of our world? What knowledge do you wish to pull from the legendary Istus, goddess of fate and dreams and fortune?
Right, well, you know what? Why don't you tell me? Just tell me what you read in me, please.
I can see a girl, a pretty girl, and you see she begins to wipe her hands over the orb and it begins to swirl with this sort of like
Couldn't
dark
tell us
smoke,
about that,
with little
Nebula.
twinkles of starlight in it. Yes, a very pretty girl from your home, yes. Oh, she pines so for you. She feels the same way about you as you about her.
Okay. Anything else?
God.
She
Conquer
wishes that you would ask the question you never asked.
I'll look down for a second. I'll sort of. I mean, I don't. Can any? You guys won't see this, but my eyes are sort of twitching left and right. Interesting. Okay. Carry on.
You see her eyes are like dark as outside of it. You can see, yes, I can see it. I can see your fortune. It's just calls to you, my child. She says, the thing that you're looking for, yes, it is under your mother's bed, yes. That thing that you've always wanted to find, it's there, waiting for you.
Right. Okay. Well, this has been very, very insightful. I'm going to go now.
Please, can I go?
You really want to
At which
spend
point-
10 gold on this?
Let me just tell you this
Yeah,
right
she's
now.
telling our futures. Maybe
I'm
we'll
just
learn
gonna-
something really important.
I think Nebulon's going to turn to Serena at this point. He's going to say, Serena, I am a very optimistic individual. Trust me, I really love this, but this
It's a
is
load of
not
shit.
ac-
It's a load of shit,
Exactly
and we are
that.
fully aware that it's a load of shit. So let's.
I can hear you.
So I'll tell you to your
This
face,
does
it's a
not
load of
so-
bullshit.
Istus does not smile on the non-believers. Leave my store. You're all banned.
Wait. Maybe they'll
Really?
believe me if you do me for free.
No
Oh.
freebies. Out,
Interesting.
all of
And
you.
that's how you can tell it's a scam. I will happily leave.
Right. Oh, at which point, as Nebulon's about,
going to look for magical artifacts. Come on.
as the door's about to slam, Nebulon's going to turn around and say, for good measure, you did it wrong. Is this? You could have at least drawn her correctly. It's fine. It's fine.
What do you know of Istus, the goddess of dreams?
Slams the door at that point out of anger. It's fate and divinity.
Oh, I'm not even kidding. I would have got my gold back, man. That was a load of crap.
It's fine. It's fine.
That would have been so.
And I could,
fun.
and I didn't
It's
even need
fine.
to cast anything. I could tell.
It's fine.
Boys.
Serena,
It's all good.
we make our own futures. Nothing can tell me what my future is going to be like.
Oh, but they're gods and
Leo,
stuff.
we're gonna be
Surely they
long-
know more than we do.
And she just like holds him
You-
up. Like
You
a
are
cat.
far too innocent for this
I'm
world,
alright.
Serena.
That's not true.
Okay.
Also, stop treating me like a child. I'm 20. I'm ancient.
Ancient. I mean, fair enough, but that's.
I'm saying nothing and I'm just walking. I'm just walking
I'm
off.
about.
Me
Do
too.
you know I'm about twice your age, technically, in years.
What?
But
Really? Oh
I
man,
guess.
but you look so young. Your skin is so dewy.
I'm 46, but I mean, it's
What?
technically. Yes, but it's
You-
it's all relevant, right? You know, I'm an
Oh
elf.
my god. You're like middle-aged.
You're
Actually,
like at
I'm,
least 29. I was thinking.
Well, look,
19.
I'm 46, but I've got the mind of like a 70-year-old because I was exposed to a lot of starlight. Back in the Astroni Sanctorum, it was fantastic, but it got very
Like-
dull very
like-
quickly.
Like cancer, gamma
got-
rays, something.
It's hard to explain. They put us all in this big room. We all had to meditate together, and then from our
And then you
perspective,
turned
it was
17 years old.
no. It's complicated.
As you guys are having this conversation, you make your way back over the bridge towards the dock, sort of that district. It's at this point when you all sort of like take stock of the time of day. You realize that it's touching sort of like 5 or 6 o'clock at this point. You can see that the sun's beginning to sort of like go down, and you're quickly realizing that perhaps your time in the city may need another day.
Get Kyra's cloak. We need to get Kyra's cloak.
Right. Well,
Yes.
are we
Let's
near
run to the
this-
cloak
this
store.
shopping? I agree. Let's
Yes.
get a move on.
And in fact, she puts Leor like in front of her, and she's like, "Sniff it out, go."
Well, I guess I'll look at armor and health potions
Luminari,
tomorrow.
guide us. Oh yeah.
Hey, if
that's
we're
all.
lucky,
As you
maybe we
guys-
can get.
As you guys sort of like cross over Tom's Blade Bridge, you sort of pass by the pair of black antlers, and as you do, you can see Onthar's sort of like heading there from across the other bridge. He goes, "All right, you're already here. Amazing. Right, got a lot to talk about. You ready?
Clothes shopping tomorrow then.
Yes,
Oh.
we will.
Trust
do
me,
that
you're
tomorrow.
probably going to want to do that tomorrow anyway, because I've managed to sort you out a discount at all of the stores nearby.
You are
We're kidding.
amazing.
Maybe you can
Only
stick that
only
at the
10%. Only 10%, but it should help you equip before you head out on your next leg of your journey.
Well,
Great.
thank you very
Let's-
much.
Regardless,
Let's
thank
discuss.
you.
Wow. Maybe you can get one gold piece back from that star lady.
Yeah,
As
it's
you
fine.
guys sort of like
Maybe
look, as you
all
guys
of
sort of like
them.
look over, you can see that Leosin sort of like walking in stride at this point of Onthar. The thing that you notice is that the splint that was sort of like on his leg is now gone. Looks as though he's walking, his gait is normal. You can see that the hands are sort of like unwrapped now, and you see that he's sort of like seemingly completely healthy.
Visited
looking
a
well.
healer friend.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
Onthar's rather good.
Please
at
teach
broken
me your
bones.
ways.
I certainly wish that I could, but unfortunately, it's whenever your deity deigns to give you the abilities, and let me tell you, even when they do, broken bones are a bastard.
Bahamut, please. Am I worthy?
So,
As you guys sort of like head back in, you can see that the pair of black antlers at this time has begun to sort of like fill out and populate a lot more. One thing that you notice is this seems to be like a guard hotspot. A lot of people wearing like full sort of like chainmail armor, helmets off, swords to their sides, and like drinking around tables, sort of like enjoying like meals and things of that nature. You can see a few of like the guild hands from the Westerly district have sort of like made their way in and are now chatting amongst themselves, like having, you know, a fun go of it, playing cards at the tables and things of that nature. You see that Leosin turns to Onthar and says, "I'll go fetch the others. I'll meet you downstairs." Right, good. Rest of you, come with me.
Okay.
You see
I'll
he
follow.
leads you back downstairs. I'll say that Leosin knocks on the door of both of you, Quill and Vilka. And I'll say that you both finish your long rest, so you are no longer exhausted. Good to note.
The rest
Are
of
you
us
both
are
ready? Yes. Brilliant. If you'll follow me, and he leads you down into the basement. You see Onthar sort of
to the
moves
basement.
forward then and goes, right, we're going to want to talk somewhere away from prying eyes. You see he walks over to the sort of like altar to Torm. You see that he pulls the thumb from the gauntlet, and the doors and this sort of like wall behind it opens. Inside, you can see what appears to be a makeshift war room of sorts. You can see this long sort of like wooden table, various sort of like notes and like parchments scattered over the table. What looks like room for maybe 8 to 10 people. You can see various sort of like posters and like clippings of newspapers all over the sort of like wall, and a large map of the Sword Coast sort of like plastered on the table proper. You see Onthar moves and takes point at the head of the table, clicks a button under this sort of like mahogany, beautifully made table, and the wall sort of closes behind.
That is
Hope you don't mind me using. I hope you don't mind me using the Harper safe house, Leosin, but I thought that you'd want somewhere a little bit more quiet. It's fine. Well, Onthar, would you like to begin? Of course. Right. Well, I hope that you all enjoyed Elturel today. I have had some rather tense negotiations with the rest of the Order. And I have news.
Okay.
Of course.
We pulled out information that we got from Leosin, as well as information we got from some of our other Harper associates up and down the realms. In addition, Prince Nelonvain has spoken with the Lord's Alliance, and you've been granted emergency investigative powers in this respect.
What?
That's
Now,
useful.
I want to preface this. That's not a free pass to commit crimes, right? At all. What
We
that
would
is,
never.
it means that cities that would normally turn you away, places like Candlekeep, places perhaps like Waterdeep, depending on the time of day, will always let you inside, and you'll be free to move along the districts as you will.
Okay, that's good to know.
What do we need this for? What do you want us to do?
It'll be fine. Leosin just has to tweak Quilliam's Harper badge a little bit, and that should get you through any doors that you need getting through.
So we're
So-
taking a few journeys then.
Well, that's the next question, in all honesty. So, thanks to you, we now know that it seems as though the cult is amassing treasure and shipping it north. Where exactly it's going, we're unsure. It could be the Castle Narentar, or that could be a safe house on the way to where it's going. We're not 100% sure yet. What we would like you to do is join the cult's journey north. Now, I know what you're thinking already. It's a little bit too risky to try and get hired on to the cult's caravans yourself, right? There's going to be a fleet of them heading up north, probably various different caravans, right? So, our information states that once they left, the Cult of the Dragon went south, and I'm going to just go ahead and flip you over to the map of the Sword Coast.
Oh, nice.
Ah! My computer is being weird and not letting. Okay, there we go.
If I can direct your attention down here. So, seems like they went south towards Bergost, right? Probably to meet up with another caravan of the cult. Now, from Bergost, we assume they're going to be heading north through Baldur's Gate. Now, there's a couple of things that we've got in our favor right now. Number one, there's no chance that they're not going to join a caravan. No company in their right mind is going to travel not in a caravan, especially not up in the Savage North. As you go further north, the more dangerous it gets. Safety in numbers, they'll be joining a caravan of about 30 or 40 other people, right? They'll be able to avoid suspicion, and they'll be safe from any sort of raids or bandits sort of attention, right? It's the easiest way to not draw attention. So, what we need you to do is journey to Baldur's Gate and intercept them. If you take a boat down the Chionthar River straight from Elturel, you can get to Baldur's Gate in 3 days. It's going to take them at least 10 to get there, which means we've got about a week's head start.
Oh, wow.
We need you to go there, and you need to get hired on as guards or as assistants or bodyguards or whatever you need to do onto the caravan, right?
Quill, you'll be up.
After that, I will say this. You're probably best off dispersing yourselves. Don't all get hired onto the same caravan. Get hired across 2 or 3 different ones.
So we need good liars on every caravan. There's Quill. Who else? Is that it? Oh no!
I could probably lie my way in. I'm just not as gifted as Quill.
I can't.
Well,
I need
actually, for at least 1 or 2 of you, there's a very easy way, which is if you are to serve as bodyguards for Renana Ember.
Oh.
News has
It's
already
going
spread
through.
through the city thanks to Rena's big mouth that he's heading back north to Neverwinter. Wouldn't be out of character for a noble of his standing to have at least a couple of bodyguards. We'll send him to Baldur's Gate with you. We'll send him to Baldur's Gate with you, and we'll get him a wagon, as well as a driver. 2 of you can be his bodyguards. The other 4 of you must get hired somewhere else.
What about the eggs and the
The
camp?
eggs are being dealt with.
Do you
Aye,
think,
we've already sent a task force down towards where you said the camp was, thanks to Leosin's help.
Just so you know, they might be on alert now, because they noticed us, definitely. So,
I wouldn't worry.
there is another fear that I
Careful.
have as well. So they were in tandem with a Red Wizard of Thay.
We've heard.
What? I'm not a magical person, but is there any way that they could use their magical bits
Listen,
to get rid of these eggs?
The Thayans have got a very bad reputation, right? Obviously, and deservedly so. However, when Sastam took power over in Thay, a lot of Thayans disagreed with his methods and his rule and fled the country. There are Red Wizards who have forsaken their lineage. There are Red Wizards who still serve Zastam. There are still wizards who work against him. It's very hard to tell without actually getting face to face and talking with a Red Wizard to know where his loyalties lie. Could just be a mercenary job or a spellcasting job.
I'm more concerned if they're able to use magic to move these eggs. Maybe they won't find anything there. Maybe they will. Who knows?
Very doubtful. Not if the eggs are as big as Leosin claims.
Oh,
they would have
what
probably
about-
done it already, right?
What about my
Before
height?
they
then?
had to abandon. Sorry.
No, I was just saying they were about my height, about 6 foot.
Right, that's
Exactly.
positive. At least you have people. Who do you have going to deal with it?
Aren't you bigger than 6 foot?
Task force of 8 paladins.
Oh, that'll do it.
In a while.
That'll do it. All right, brilliant. So, looks like we
What
have a big
of
castle.
what of Candlekeep in Baldur's Gate? Are we worried that the horde may attack? Should we prepare them for a siege?
I wouldn't worry. Yes, it's quite right. Raiding Greeness and the smaller villages is a very different beast. Candlekeep is basically impenetrable to even the mightiest of beasts. The wolves have stood for generations and will stand for generations more.
I need to
Baldur's Gate
inspect
in
these
itself,
walls.
You do that?
Baldur's Gate itself has recently weathered an attack from a Illithid colony and came out surviving as always, so I wouldn't worry about the large cities. They wouldn't even dare attack lest they be wiped out.
Hubris can be the downfall of all of us.
It's true, but we're fairly confident. But we will
Confidence,
monitor
yeah,
the
vigilant.
situation.
Well, I
In
guess
Baldur's
there's no-
Gate, Grand Duke Ulder Ravengard has a very, very, very tight watch on the comings and goings of the populace.
What of Neverwinter? How's Neverwinter doing right now?
Neverwinter is far north enough that it's unlikely if the general bulk of the cult is this far south that they will make their way there. And again, Neverwinter is very well protected. Raiding little towns is one thing, raiding major cities is another completely.
Yeah, it's more just I want to get Renar back as fast as possible. So this is the best way, but it's something that keeps ticking on in my mind.
I will say this. Assumedly, they'll be heading to Waterdeep. if not further north than that. But most likely, they'll be heading at least as far as Waterdeep. Now, I will pre-warn you, this journey will probably take you at least 3 months.
Whoa.
You ready to
I
be on the
shoot as
road
much.
for a long time, guys?
I guess so.
I guess.
I suppose.
If anyone wants to
If
put
we
your
go
britches
that
down
far
now.
up north, we might also pass by my family home. Maybe we can learn something. I don't know.
Maybe we could inform them about,
Hey.
your brother.
Yeah,
Isn't it best that the Dragon Slayers know that one of their best is with potentially a dragon?
well, he's probably slated by now, but he'll be fine.
Okay. As long as you're sure.
Yeah.
Alright, Leosin. You just tell us where and when.
Of course. Well, it depends when you want to leave. You've probably got another 4 or 5 days before the cult arrives into Baldur's Gate. If you want to get there early and find yourselves caravan to join in, if you want to spend a few days in Elturel, it'll take you 3 days to reach Baldur's Gate from here by boat.
And how long do we have? About a 10-day, 7 days?
Probably 4 or 5 days before the cult arrives in Baldur's Gate. Presumably,
Right.
they will spend a day or two in Baldur's Gate, reissuing horses and fixing the wagon, but they will most likely be setting off from Baldur's Gate in 6 days.
Right.
I will say this. Reports say that Resmir is already far north past Baldur's Gate. So you won't have to worry about running into her.
Or
I'm sure she has her ways.
something else.
That's positive to know.
Yes.
Agreed.
Oh, she did seem strong.
I think that we should spend perhaps the better part of the morning to the afternoon tomorrow in Elturel and then head out.
Maybe we
I-
should
Yeah, that
prepare.
would be good.
I agree.
We'll expend what we can here, get as much as we need, and then, I agree, we'll go.
So, allow me, Leosin. The mission is as such. You are to join in with a caravan heading north, which contains at least some of the Cult of the Dragon. They'll most likely spread it out among multiple caravans. Just find one that contains at least some members of the Cult of the Dragon, right? Join up, follow them, right the way, wherever they go, wherever they're heading to, we need to know. Find out where they're going, assess whatever stronghold it is or wherever it is that they're held up or they're taking all of this wealth to, right? If you can engage, do what you can, but do not. This is very important. So do not take undue risks.
Okay.
We're not that good at that. Oof.
We're gonna have to be. If we only have one shot, we
Yeah.
better make it count.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, at least we know that in guarding Renar
can
we
do
have one caravan sorted. It's just if Quill
I do
can
have
sneak into
friends
the
in
rest.
Baldur's Gate. I'm friends with a lot of the heads of merchant guilds. I could probably get all of you work on some caravans if you need me to, but it's probably more natural and will be a better story. You're going to be with these people for a long time. All it'd take is one person being like, "Oh, Onthar spoke to my boss and then got them a job on my caravan to raise eyebrows."
It's
It'd
got
be
to be as
better.
inconspicuous as possible.
It'd be better if it was
honestly-
natural.
I could have a solution.
I wonder if
It
there's
is
something
not
I'm looking
an
for.
answer, but that would require us to get ahead of the cult. That way, it won't look as conspicuous
Right.
to get
Whatever you
the
need to do.
vibe.
Whatever you think is best. You have my trust. What was that? Sorry, Kyla.
I was just thinking out loud. I wonder if there's anybody looking for any wizards, either to teach or.
Quite possibly, as I say. There's likely a lot of people who are heading north, especially with what's going on in Waterdeep at the minute. So I would say that your odds of getting hired out are quite high.
Okay.
Good.
I
We'll see what we can
probably
do.
work on a resume, baby.
Alright. We'll have tonight and tomorrow
Can you be
here
my
in-
reference?
We'll spend tonight and tomorrow here in Elturel, make sure we've got everything we need, and then on the morrow of tomorrow's morning. Yeah, you get the point. We'll head out then. We'll head out in the morning after a
Great.
day.
Indeed,
Alright.
one last thing. I've arranged for a vessel to take you down the river to Baldur's Gate. The same vessel that we came here in Theodore. He will be taking you down. It'll take about 3 days, as I say. It's not a journey he's particularly used to doing, so make sure you look after him. And when you arrive in Baldur's Gate, you'll be pulling into the north outer city, a place called Blackgate.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
What I need you to do there is, if you need any help or if you need anything at all, I have a contact there. His name is Akin Celebon. He's a old loyalist of the Order of the Gauntlet. He'll be able to assist you in getting work if you need so, or if you need a place to stay or anything like that. Akin Celebon owns a business up in Blackgate.
Okay. Right. I'm going to write that down.
Just done it. You're
Perfect. I think that's the plan then. Yes.
Yes.
Seems like it.
Is there anything else that you
Now,
want us
as
to
I
keep
say-
an eye out for while we're on this journey?
Any information you can. Anything that you think is important or pertinent. Most importantly, we need to know where this hoard is going, where this wealth is going. Make sure you're well stocked. This will be a long, long journey.
Can you do me one last favour as well? Can you just...
Of
I don't know
course.
if you'd be able to send any more reserves or anything to Green Nest, or just find out some information of how they're holding up and... Yeah. Try and
Don't worry. We will make sure that they're looked after.
And if you can send a message somehow to Baldur's Gate to get to me, I don't know if you can. I know your Harbours are incredible at what you do, but just, yeah, let me know how things are going. I'm worried about everyone back there.
We will do what we can.
Thanks.
Leosin, if I may. I'm
Yes.
assuming you mentioned that when we got here, a few of your compatriots had some questions for me. Would you like me to answer some of those questions? It was to do with the grand scheme of the Cult of the Dragon. I've had run-ins
see that-
before.
You see that Leosin looks over to Onthar. Well, that is one thing that we were hoping that you might be able to look into.
Right.
Speaking of which, you said that you've had run-ins with him before, right?
I'd have twice before this. Yes.
And where was that? How far north are we talking?
Not sure in terms of distance from here, but it's the first instance that I ran into them. They were looking for. Well, I think they were looking for me. I think it was in a very small hamlet called Floodblessed. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Near Neverwinter, yes, I'm aware.
I believe, yes, it is. And the second time, it was a few miles down south from the Star Mounts, a small Kenku village. It was devastated. That was not long ago, about a year back.
I've not heard of that.
But yes, that is kind of where I found my trail to lead me to where the next dragon attack could be. And Greenis was one of many possible targets, but I followed the cult to the best of my ability that way. And then I kind of lost a bit of the trail until I started finding graffiti. And then they attacked Greenist, so they were... At which point I'm just gonna gesture over to the rest of the party. They were after an astral dragon. Back... We're talking 30 odd years ago now. That's when they attacked my hamlet. But of course, apparently, this branch does not seem to care about that.
It is. It's an interesting thing. From what we can tell, the motivations of the Cult of the Dragon have shifted significantly in the past few years. We're not sure if it's a different sect, if it's a new leader, or anything of that nature, but what we do know is the creator of the Cult of the Dragon was a... When I say powerful, that is understating. An immensely powerful mage by the name of Samaster. So much so that he was, at a certain point in his life, made a chosen of Mistra herself.
Wow.
As wizards often do, they believed themselves. He believed himself to be her consort.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm sure you've heard stories. Every wizard who believes themselves to be a lover of Mistra is, let's say, often disappointed.
I've read countless stories, many books.
What has started to worry me is, what if their objectives were never different? What if these are just stepping stones to something greater?
It's possible. I don't know.
Well, the thing that's interesting is that the master made it so. I mean, the cult were huge in the 900s. They were a real problem. And they were the biggest threat that this world had faced in generations. In fact, it took Elminster himself to kill Samaster, but as these wizards often are, they don't like to stay dead. He was resurrected over 100 years ago in the late 14th century. And
I don't want to be putting things into mouths, but just the talk of a celestial dragon with the potential overthrowing of the the Star Academy or something.
I'm not sure the two are linked, but all I know is when they attacked, they were looking for the celestial dragon or the starlight dragon, something like that.
Either way, it doesn't sound good. We're gonna have to find out more answers.
You see Nebulon looks extremely, almost suddenly distraught for a second, and then he sort of snaps out of it. Yes.
You just put an arm on your shoulder, and you're good.
The lineage of the Cult of the Dragon is complicated.
I'm fine.
They have had many iterations. Samaster himself has died twice. Once to Elminster, but more famously to the avatar of the Morning Lord Lathander himself.
Right. Well, thank you.
It is the battle which created the relic which was instrumental in the saving of Baldur's Gate earlier this year, the Blood of Lathander.
Interesting. Well, that is all the information I could possibly give you, but I hope that was helpful.
It just deepens the web, as it seems as though...
A true spiral.
Things are much more complicated than we initially knew. The good thing is this: what we first aimed to be a minor threat, we've now realized it's a much wider conspiracy. Between what you've told us of these astral dragons, between what you've said of Madame Foxglove and the Academy of Stargazers, it all spells a very concerning and complicated picture. Hopefully, you'll be able to shed some more light very soon.
I hope so.
And hopefully, if and it's of little significance probably to others, but My teacher's pin. I want that back. And in one piece.
We'll
Let's
get
hope.
it back.
Right, I think that's enough for today. Enjoy your night. I know some of you still need to sleep. Do whatever you need to do tomorrow. Let Leosin know he'll be staying here when you want the ferry to take you to Baldur's Gate. Just make sure you're there within the next 4 or 5 days. Don't forget, it takes 3 days on the ferry. So at most, you've got a day to spend in Elturel if you don't want to get there early.
A day will do.
Let's just get a
Better
few
to do
things
that.
sorted and then head out.
Yes.
I don't suppose you've seen Renar, have you?
Well,
Probably in a brothel, right? That's where he said he'd be.
I'm afraid
I
of the
believe
idiot
so.
against
I'm sure it'll be. I mean, Elturel's a safe city. I mean, I know that's rich to say after the whole deal with the Nine Hells and all that, but generally, it's a safe city.
It's not that the city's not safe that I'm worried about. It's that he's an idiot, and a loud one at that.
I worry.
Well, we all know that very well.
He just is. It's going to happen, I suppose.
I mean, at
I'll-
least
I-
he speaks his mind, but, sometimes it's best to keep it to yourself.
I'll go out and find him. Don't worry.
To make sure he's not, on his back in a ditch somewhere.
I'll make sure. But for now, those of you who need it should sleep.
Good idea. I'm exhausted.
Quite frankly, some of you look absolutely awful.
Thank
I'm
you.
so close
We
to
feel
this
awful.
feeling.
Agreed.
Yeah, unfortunately, Serena wasn't able to do her morning yoga either, so we need to make sure that we're getting our schedules back on track.
Yeah.
Mm.
You guys are all joining me tomorrow morning, right?
Oh,
I have to study.
I'm feeling very stiff,
No,
so
no,
I
no,
think
no.
I need to get
You're-
more
you're-
limber. I'll give it a go.
You need to feed your body in order to feed your brain,
So I can't
Speaking
just
of which,
sit
I'm
inside
starving.
and study all morning?
No, you
other
have
than
to work
getting-
out. It makes your studying better.
Guys,
Your rooms, anyway, your rooms and your meals are comped for the evening. As are your
Aw.
drinks, but do not go overboard. You have a lot of work to do.
can we have a
Don't
cheese
make a
board?
scene.
A
Um,
I'm
charcuterie
sure it can
board?
be arranged. Just be aware.
and
Be
If-
careful and stay vigilant.
Mm.
And we'll speak in the morning.
I suppose I could ask for
I'm
a
gonna go
list of
straight to bed.
people that are possibly looking to mentor wizards in the morning. All right then.
We'll save that for
Sure.
Baldur's Gate. I wouldn't stress too much.
I'll hunker down
Yeah.
for the night.
Me too.
And as the meeting comes to its conclusion, some of you head out into the pair of black antlers, and some of you head for a night's rest. We'll go ahead and wrap the session there for today.